sideline for Chenault, who wins the jump ball at the 25-yard line of the Huskers.
Well, there he is. And there he is showing off some of his just dynamic athleticism. Get the ball to your best players in as many unique and different ways as possible. The fly sweep action and just a one-on-one. Bigger, stronger, faster, go up and make a dynamic play.
Screen to Jay McIntyre. The coach's son gets lassoed at the 20-yard line, but picks up 5.
You know, I was saying earlier, Kurt Roper, the QB coach, just trying to create an understanding for Montez. He's a gifted kid, man. 6'5", 230, can make every throw, as NFL scouts like to say. But an understanding of what the other side is doing to you. What are they trying to do defensively to you? Once you understand that, you get even a firmer grasp on your own offense.
Flags down on the jet sweep action to Chenault.
Prior to the snap, false start, 56 out there. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Only 22 career games, 15 starts for Montez, but he's still in the top 10 in Colorado history passing the football. He came into today just shy of 4,000 yards.
And when he is poised and he is calm, he's awfully dangerous. Just ask Colorado State last week.
And he has lost weight because he doesn't eat 5 frozen pizzas a day anymore. Montez looking end zone. Actually up the slot to K.D. Nixon as he makes the catch inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. He's got an NFL arm and he showed it there.
What an awesome shot there of anticipation, too. You thought it was going to the end zone. You're right, that was the seam route, but he was throwing to the spot on that in cut. Beautifully done.
Evans. And the Huskers pile him up at the 6. Mohamed Barry led the charge for Nebraska.
So you saw Nebraska go 20-20 right down the field as well. They turn it over. There's Colorado that's going to march this ball. I think both of these offenses have an opportunity to do this throughout the day, but you've got to score in the critical situations.
Montez might have gotten a free play, and he looks back pylon for Nixon. A hard count looked like it got the Huskers to jump.
Defense offside. Number 7 in the neutral zone at the snap. Half the distance to the goal. Remains second down.
Yeah, you're going to see it here. It's a good job by Montez. Right, that snap. You know, they don't use their voice anymore in college football. They use their hands. That used to be illegal. Right, as you saw quarterbacks with their cadence and with their voice, but not anymore with that clap. And they get Nebraska to jump a free play, just overthrown in the end zone, unfortunately.
Huskers bring a blitz. Little pick play at the goal line, and McIntyre has a touchdown for Colorado.
You know, if you're watching Auburn Washington last week, a critical touchdown off the board in that second half for Washington on a pick play. And it was so obvious to everybody, you have to make that call. That was a much better job by K.D. Nixon here. He's on the outside. He does not touch the defender. He forces the DB that time, Trey Neal, to come up over the top of that route. He doesn't run through the traffic, and because of it, a perfectly executed play, and even more so, a perfectly executed opening possession for 6.
Steven Montez was 22 of 25 last week, 6 for 6 on the opening drive this week. What does Nebraska week bring out of you?
I'd rather be dead than red.
Nothing better than old rivalry games. This is the renewal of a 120-year-old rivalry. The 70th meeting all time between Nebraska and Colorado. Of course, the last time these two teams met back in 2010 when they used to be in the same conference, no longer. Now can the Huskers answer? Spielman will bring it out. Flags everywhere as Spielman drags tacklers out to the 35-yard line.
During the return, holding 13 of the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So that will back up the Huskers. Our first chance to say hi to Cassidy Hubbard.
Hi, guys. Now for the All-State Mayhem moment, a surprising Big Ten final. Eastern Michigan put together a 15-play final drive, and Chad Ryland kicked a 24-yard field goal as time expired to upset Purdue 20-19. Bob, Brock, Allison, back to you.
That's a tough loss for the Big Ten to absorb. Another Big Ten school, Nebraska, down by 7 at home in their opener after they turned it over on the opening drive, and Colorado went right down the field to take the lead. Adrian Martinez, quick out to Stanley Morgan. And he is wrestled out at the 15-yard line after a gain of 5 by Dante Wigley.
5-yard gain on the play. Second down and 5 for the Huskers from their own 15.
Quarterback draw. Broken tackle by Martinez. And he's got a first down. Lost the ball. Colorado thinks they have another takeaway. And they do. The second consecutive possession that a Nebraska Cornhusker ball carrier coughs it up. The call on the field was a Husker turnover.
The ball was fumbled and recovered by Colorado. First down.
Yeah, I think that ball is moving. I think that's number 5, Davion Taylor, as well, that comes in. It was Landman using his helmet. That time it is Taylor using that fist, that little punch, and just an awareness of where that football is, and it is starting to move before that left forearm is down. That call should stand. That's now 3 different occasions. And welcome to your opening game. These are some of the things that Scott Frost and his staff didn't have the fortune of playing last week and working through. Ball security and tackling maybe 2 of the biggest. Credit there to the Buffalo defense. It's again rising up, and Frost knows it. That's 3 different occasions. Fumbles on the ground, and 2 go the other way.
Trayvon McMillan, flags thrown, and he's stopped for a loss of a half yard by Mo Barry.
That could go against Nebraska as well. Hands to the face.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 96. Half the distance from the previous spot by rule. Automatic first down.
Yeah, that's big Carlos Davis. You're going to see it right here, right in that action. And he just can't get his hand out. They'll sometimes let you get your hand up there, and then if you work to get it down, Carlos, they won't call that, but you have a sustained shot there under the chin. An obvious view. It's going to be 15 the wrong way for your team.
Hand off to K.D. Nixon. 2 yards to the 10. Brought down by Mo Barry.
These are the areas, man. This is where Montez makes his money. You're number 3 now in the program. A lot more maturity in boys. Get down here into the red zone. Take care of the football and be willing to take your shot. Touchdown and check down.
Incomplete on second down. It'll be third down and 8 from the 10-yard line.
One matchup I think that Coach McIntyre liked were some of his big receivers, and he's got 3 senior captain receivers. His son with the first touchdown of this game. But he likes some of the one-on-one shots out in the perimeter. Be aware of that with Winfrey and Enzo, 2 big senior wide receivers.
Third down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Chenault in the flat. Makes a man miss. Gets to the 5. Reaches the ball out. It looks like he is marked down a yard shy of the first down. So what does Coach McIntyre do on 4th and a yard from inside the 5?
I don't see any kickers running on the field. Instead, I see an extra tight end coming on. And as for me in my house, I go up 2 scores. Especially in this building, as long as this game's going to be in so many plays, but Coach McIntyre has other ideas.
LaVisca Chenault lines up in the Wildcat on 4th down and a yard. Moves the pile. He's at the goal line, and he's in for a touchdown.
And that is why Coach Mack's on the sideline doing his job, and I'm up in the booth talking about it because he knows the power and strength of the number 2. He also knows his group up front. Kudos to those big guys on back-to-back possessions, and even a week ago, really owning the line of scrimmage. I told you Chenault will do a little bit of everything. And, well, he carries a defender, Tyron Ferguson. Welcome to the ride. Right into the end zone. Chenault, one of the players of the week in college football last week, over 200 yards receiving. And Scott Frost is saying, man, we're moving that ball, doing everything we want to do. But, boy, you've got to value that football more than anything else.
Two Nebraska fumbles, 2 Colorado recoveries, 2 Buffs touchdowns. Bob Wischusen and Brock Ewert, Allison Williams back at Nebraska, where, of course, they've got a brand new head coach. And, of course, that coach was part of national championships in the past. They now believe that Scott Frost will take Nebraska back to where they used to be. Well, have to hold on to the football to make that happen, and he already has teaching tape for his young team as they've turned it over twice, and both of the turnovers have resulted in Buffs touchdowns. It'll be a touchback through the back of the end zone for Price. And this season, for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to that university's general scholarship fund. We thank Allstate.
I'll tell you what, you look at Adrian Martinez, Bob, and you look at his stats, 2 for 2, 14 yards. Right, he just pinpoint on both of his passes, 3 rushes for 38 yards. A couple of those little QB draw action, but it was just the fumble. His fumble, unfortunately, junior college transfer Greg Bell's fumble, and if you do not value the football, you can put up all the stats you want. The only stat that matters at the end of games, we learn time and again, is that turnover margin.
Maurice Washington, true freshman, gets walloped after a gain of 6 by Gamboa.
Calm and collected is how everyone describes Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez, and I can see why guys have been watching him after the first 2 possessions resulted in turnovers, and there's no signs of emotion or frustration. He just seems really focused, very businesslike. He comes to the sideline, gets on the headsets, talks to his coaches upstairs, and then he's right back with helmet on, ready to go to work.
Well, his offense is moving the ball. They've got over 80 yards of total offense. But the 2 fumbles have cost them dearly as Mo Washington comes up a yard shy of a first down. So it will be 3rd and 1.
I'll tell you what else you've seen from Colorado carry over from a week ago as they're flying around. I mean, Gamboa just hit the true freshman as hard as you're going to see anybody hit. We've seen Landman on a couple different occasions. This Buffalo defense here, maligned a year ago, couldn't stop anybody. A really hard time being physical. They've got more depth. They've got a whole lot more speed. I think when you've got that Mike linebacker right in the middle, and you see 53 there, Landman, son of a rugby player, actually born down in Zimbabwe and became an American citizen here recently, and just is a guy that is a difference maker. As you see Cole Conrad, the starting center, finding his way off the football field, but it just makes a world of difference. That Mike linebacker, strong in the middle, sets the tone for everybody.
So Tanner Farmer will slide over to center, and Bo Wilson, a sophomore, will move into the guard position. And the anchor of that offensive line, those 3 seniors at center and at both guard spots, that's now disrupted with Conrad on the sideline. Devina Zigbo has the first down on 3rd and short.
You saw the ball security there from the senior. You would expect that. Colorado has put a helmet on the football, has been punching that football out. And Zigbo there, with all of his experience, leading rusher from a year ago, 2 hands on that football as he plows through for the first down.
Martinez off play action. Tries to avoid a sack, does well to throw it away. They brought Delrick Abrams on a blitz, and he had Martinez around the ankles. Just couldn't bring him down.
And that's a corner blitz, and this is a true freshman. Look at the eyes. He really doesn't feel any of that. That is a play that I promise you, maybe even midway through this season or next week, he's going to be able to scan the entire field, especially when you're into the short sidelines there. Teams love that corner blitz. Able to dodge a bullet.
Quarterback keeper, and Martinez has nowhere to go. He loses 7. Mustafa Johnson was the first buff there, and now it's 3rd down and a mile.
Yeah, Mustafa plays this just beautifully. Had a really dynamic game last week, and junior college transfer, you see there, 300 pounds. Just kind of guys you want against this option system. Big, but mobile.
Martinez well protected, fires a strike right at the first down marker. Mike Williams, the junior college transfer, converts on 3rd down and long.
Oh, there's Allison's point about poise right there. A 3rd and long, you just get hit a couple times. It's flying around. Corners are coming to get you. 300-pound D tackles. You've never felt that in your life, or hitting you in the chin. But 3rd and extra long, Colorado rushes only 3. Allow the true freshman to scan the entire field. Keeps his fundamentals, and he throws a bullet to move the sticks.
Huge 3rd down conversion for Nebraska. They'll run it again with Washington. Bounces it outside. Out of bounds at the 41.
You want to judge,
5.
sorry, Bob. You want to judge poise of young players, especially quarterbacks. Watch their feet and eyes. They're the 2 biggest indicators for anybody with inexperience at that position. How calm are they? How poised are they? Watch their feet and eyes more than anything else. And it's hard with eyes at times, obviously, but you can see that with a helmet, right? If that helmet is scanning all over the field, it's actually seeing nothing. Right? And those feet mechanically, are their happy feet, or they're climbing in the pocket. Such tremendous poise on that 3rd down.
Little zone read, and Martinez into the open field. What a move he made in the backfield. Looking for the pylon. He's got a touchdown.
Football, you got to win your one-on-one battles, and this time it's a corner. It's Delrick Abrams right there in a one-on-one situation. You hear it all the time from option when you play in an option team. One-on-one tackles, you got to make them. And Martinez makes Abrams missed and shows off, like Troy Walters, offensive coordinator, said. He may be the most dynamic and best runner on our team. He proved it on that play.
Team dominated the 90s more than Tom Osborne's Huskers back in the '98 Orange Bowl. Led by Scott Frost, they took out Peyton Manning's Volunteers. Scott Frost, 60 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, added 125 through the air, and Nebraska would win it 42-17. Those truly were the glory years for this program and before, and they believe that Scott Frost can take them back. Well, a true freshman quarterback, Adrian Martinez, just got the Huskers on the board. Colorado with a lead of 7. Caleb Lightbourne to kick it deep. It is a touchback. Speaking of the glory years, down to Allison.
Thank you very much, Bob. Here with the legendary coach, Tom Osborne. And Coach, during your more than 2 decades as the head coach at Nebraska, you established such an identity and a culture. What made Scott Frost the right man to step in for this head coaching job at this time?
Well, I think the main thing is that Scott understands the culture. Every place is a little bit unique, and he understands what buttons to push. Very intelligent guy, experienced both sides of the ball. He's very well prepared.
What are the parts of that culture that you think Scott will be able to instill?
Well, first of all, he established the strength and conditioning program where it was. Also nutrition. And then He's just a very intelligent guy, and I think accountability more than anything else. That you have to do certain things on the field, off the field to be successful, and he'll make it work.
When you coached him back in the mid-'90s, were there signs then that he would be a great head coach?
Well, he's a very intelligent guy and very competitive. And, of course, what he did at Central Florida was pretty amazing. So I think that it'll be steady. It won't be immediate, but we'll see steady progress.
Coach Osborne, thank you so much, and congratulations on the induction into the Nebraska Athletics Hall of Fame.
All right, Allison, thanks very much. 3rd down and 7 forced by the Husker defense. Blitz coming. Montez sees it. Rifles one to K.D. Nixon, who can't hold on. And after the Nebraska touchdown, they force a 3-and-out defensively.
That's a pretty good throw. Just a little better coverage there from DiCaprio Boodle. I told you about some of those matchups on the perimeter. Colorado wanted to attack. He's playing from the corner there on 3rd down. And in case you're wondering if it gets loud in this place, that interview with Coach Osborne, pretty indicative of it, of what 91,000 could do. And I know a little something about it because in '98, yeah, I got smashed in this stadium.
How'd that go for you?
Not well.
John Lindsay from inside his own 20-yard line. Gets a block. Flag throw. Has turf out in front of him out to the 33-yard line, but this one might be coming back. Couple of flags inside the 20-yard line.
Ball security issues, penalties in the special teams phase. These are the things you even see with the big boys at the professional level. These are the things that you got to sort out. They do so in preseason football. You see it early, week 1. This is really Nebraska's week number 1 with their game postponed, canceled a week ago.
Alex Kinney, the punter, is on the Ray Guy watch list for a reason. That was a 54-yard punt, and with the penalty, this could be a big flip of the field for Colorado.
There are 2 fouls on the return. Illegal block in the backs. Number 14 and 23 of the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Let's check in with Cassidy.
Thanks, Bob. DirecTV, more for your college football thing. Number 24, South Carolina hosting number 3, Georgia. And just 3 minutes into the game, DeAndre Swift put the Dogs up 14-0, but the Gamecocks just responded, so it's 14-7 in the first. Bob, Brock, Allison, back to you.
Boy, Brock, what a litmus test game early in the schedule that is for Georgia.
Oh, no question. And setting yourself up in that SEC East. Such an opportunity there, week 2 of the season.
Expect Georgia to win that game. But that is a very difficult road environment this early in the season when a team still trying to figure out who they are. Cole Conrad back in at center for Nebraska. They run a little option pitch. Tyjon Lindsey to the 19-yard line. He picks up 9.
He's a guy that's going to flourish in this system. You see that with a system change. Everybody focuses on the fullbacks or tight ends or guys that may not fit. There's others. Spielman can fit in any system. Lindsey, these are guys that are going to really excel in space in Scott Frost's system.
Greg Bell, 1st down and more.
That's a number of occasions now. QB draw, run right up the middle. No surprise. Redshirt senior, redshirt senior, redshirt senior. Play to the strength of your group. Tom Osborne said 3 times Scott Frost is an intelligent guy. He knows where his strength of this group is.
Martinez, like a statue in the pocket, finds the crosser in Stanley Morgan. Last year, Stanley Morgan was able to break the receiving yards record of Johnny Rodgers. 986 yards receiving last year.
Look at the head and the feet. Look at the feet. There's no panic. There's nothing. You know, it helps when you've got so much air and space around you in the pocket. Remarkable stuff for an 18-year-old.
Greg Bell tripped up after a 2-yard gain. Much more stout in the middle. Javier Edwards in on the tackle of Greg Bell. Also got some help from Drew Lewis.
2nd down and 8 from the Nebraska 49-yard line.
midfield for a gain of a couple. Greg Bell, when he was at Arizona Western Junior College, averaged a little under 115 yards per game over 2 seasons. So they think he can be an impact ball carrier for Nebraska.
Anytime that ball is going sideline to sideline, number 53, Landman, he's having something to say about it.
Big third down. Wide receiver screen, and that is read beautifully. Bell came back in to catch the screen, but that was diagnosed by Trey Udofia, a loss of 3, and Nebraska will have to kick it away.
Yeah, that's really well done from the redshirt sophomore. They actually tried to show it away as well, almost a double screen on both sides of the field, trying to distract those eyes of those linebackers. And instead, a much better play from Udofia, staying right at the hip of that wide receiver and forcing the punt.
It should take us down to the end of the quarter before the snap, and it will. After 1 quarter of play, how many momentum swings have we had already? A touchdown lead for Colorado. Points off turnovers, that's the story of the first quarter. Greg Bell, the junior college transfer, coughed it up on the opening possession for Nebraska. Steven Montez found the coach's son, Jay McIntyre, for a touchdown. And then Adrian Martinez, the true freshman quarterback, put it on the ground as well. And putting it into the end zone was Laviska Shenault on a 4th down run. Colorado with a 14-7 lead over Nebraska as we welcome you back to college football presented by Walmart and the Big Ten on ABC. Bob Wischusen here with Brock Ewert, Allison Williams. Blackman inside his own 15-yard line with a fair catch. Good punt from Caleb Lightbourne. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Nebraska has won an FBS leading 46 conference championships. That's a lot. It has been spread through 5 different conferences. Can you name them? We'll have the answer coming up. You've got a chance to get 4. I don't think you're going to get the 5th unless you really know you're Nebraska football. Steven Montez off play action. Bottled up. And it looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. Mo Barry got some help from Tyron Ferguson.
And unlike Martinez on the other side, you're going to feel the air in that pocket collapse very, very quickly. And Montez does the smart thing. Don't put the ball in harm's way. And at 230 pounds, gets himself back to the line of scrimmage.
He didn't even lose yardage. Another blitz. Montez able to beat it to McIntyre. Good one-on-one tackle, though, made by Trey Neal. It's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd down and 5.
And just listen to the noise that Colorado will battle on this 3rd down.
Only a 4-man rush this time. And the pocket collapses again. Down goes Montez. Khalil Davis, his 3rd career sack. And Montez is hurt.
Yeah, in that NFL game, Bob, that you called, this is going to be a penalty, unfortunately. And this couldn't be any more well played by Davis. He drives all 325 pounds right into the sternum and the ribs. In the NFL, somehow, some way, they want you to lay off. I don't know, put a little mini parachute on you so you don't hurt the quarterbacks. Not in this league. When you beat your man one-on-one as he did, you could deliver that kind of blow.
To the 48-yard line. Nebraska on the punt.
And why do I sound like such a bitter guy?
You're really a bitter old quarterback. Welcome back as we answer our Aflac trivia question. Nebraska has won an FBS leading 46 conference championships. Which 5 conferences did they win? You may have gotten the Missouri Valley, the Big 6, then the Big 8, then the Big 12. Did you get the Western Interstate University Football Association?
I did not.
Great field position, their best so far for Nebraska. Divine Zigbo gets the drive started with about a 6-yard run. And Brock, this is a moment in the game with this kind of field position and the momentum. What should be the priorities of this Nebraska offense?
Yeah, you got to pay it off, and I think that means Morgan or Spielman. They're your two best players offensively. At any time, they can break a tackle, and Martinez has shown you he can do that in space as well, but they've got to touch the ball on this possession.
To Zigbo again. They just moved the pile. A Husker push inside the 40. Easily picking up a first down. 7 more for a Zigbo.
Nebraska and Wisconsin. That's just straight bully ball right there. Those first 2 plays of this drive. I don't care how many bodies you got in there, and I don't care if you stuff it at the point of attack. We will continue to move the pile. Listen to how quiet this place gets. It is as raucous as anywhere, and then it is silent like a library.
When the offense is on the field. Play action for Martinez. Looking downfield. Extends the play and gets a block. Now he's in the open field. Turns a negative into a positive. Out of bounds at the 32. He picked up, actually the 31, picked up 7 yards.
Bob, we're seeing the push that Nebraska has up front, and that is a testament to all the work they put in the weight room during the offseason. Scott Frost and his staff talked at length about the strides, the improvements they have made, the personal records that have been set across the board in the weight room, and you can see what a difference it's making on the field.
Once again, they drive up the middle. Allison to pick up a first down. And once again, it is just bully ball by the Huskers.
In case in point as well, Allison, is that quarterback. And the advantage when you can enroll early, about 16 pounds. Came in at 202. Is nearly 220 pounds right now. You get 4 meals a day. You get to work out. You've got some of the best resources in all of college football to continue to train and develop. Be part of this program's history.
Zigbo on the counter. Wrapped around the ankle. May have picked up a half yard.
Well, I mentioned Wisconsin. I'm just watching them this morning. They're the best offensive line in college football. And this isn't yet, but size-wise, it's comparable. And that's what happens when you got a bunch of big boys that have committed themselves. A 2-time captain and left guard, Gerald Foster, is the best of the bunch. The 2 sophomores, though, may grow into being the best NFL prospects one day.
Martinez somehow avoids a sack. Sidearms one inside the 10-yard line to Stanley Morgan. And a flag down back in the offensive backfield where Martinez went down.
There is no foul for a low hit on the quarterback because he was not in a passing posture. He was a runner. Result of the play is the first down.
How did he get away from Israel Antoine? The true freshman looked like he had him dead to rights.
Yeah, he sure did. That's true freshman on true freshman. I thought maybe a hold in the middle of the line as you see the big nose tackle, but it wasn't. And what a phenomenal play for Martinez.
Zigbo on first and goal. Breaks a tackle. And the game is a point after away from being deadlocked on the Zigbo touchdown run.
Tell you what, Bob, they're letting these guys play up front. As I mentioned, no personal foul. Watch Gerald Foster here. He's got the key block. That's a one-on-one block. And there's typically times you're going to see that call. And that arm gets outside the frame and that shoulder pad gets tugged. But, man, we're playing Big 8 football, right? It's a throwback game. In a throwback game, no holds barred. Just be consistent and call it both ways. And I think both coaching staffs would live with it.
True freshman kicker Barrett Pickering with the point after. 14 all, 10-15 to go before halftime. And Brock, this is a talented quarterback making the kind of play you can't teach.
There's a lot of number 7s in this building because of plays like that. I have a feeling we'll see number 2s in time.
You think they're excited to have Scott Frost as the head coach here in Lincoln?
Just a little. perfect guy for the job, period.
Gets it. Understands the culture of the program.
And that's why so many, Pat Fitzgerald in Northwestern, Paul Chris in Wisconsin, go through the list of those guys. Jonathan Smith, way out in Corvallis, where I live in the Northwest. There's just something about a person that's been there and done it and understands the unique nature of what it takes to win in different environments.
Well, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the best student section of the year. The Nebraska Cornhuskers student section already on the watch list, and why? This is video we shot close to an hour and a half before the game started. And the student section was all but filled 90 minutes before kickoff. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. You better get in early to compete with this group.
If it could have been open Thursday, they would have been sitting there Thursday and doing their classes remotely.
Full house diamond backfield to start this drive for Montez. Gives it to McMillan. And Trayvon McMillan got back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more before he met Mo Barry.
Yeah, Mo Barry's been active. Aaron Williams has been active after maybe the first couple possessions on the heels defensively. Again, no live bullets a week ago. This defense is flying.
Flea flicker. Montez looking downfield. It's underthrown and broken up. It was a touchdown. If Montez can put it out in front of Juwan Winfrey. DiCaprio Boodle was able to recover, but only because of an underthrown ball.
That's a couple plays now. Boodle's had an awareness. Third down. The big stop there on the little fade stop that time. Eyes in the backfield. He had a long way to cover, nearly an interception, and once again, this place is alive.
Another third down blitz. Montez, pump fake, and another sack. Ben Stille, Luke Gifford, all over Steven Montez.
This is really well done here. Take a look at this, okay? It looked like blitz, but it's not blitz, right? You're going to bring people, excuse me, it's going to be this right inside here, dropping into the zone that Montez wants to throw. He wants to throw right there. That's his hot. Right, he knows extra guys are coming. There's such a blur there with some pressure in front, and instead, well done by Nebraska defensively, dropping right into that area where that ball needed to go.
Tyjon Lindsey with a fair catch. Again near midfield. Great field position once again for the Huskers as they've scored the last 14. It's Dabo and Jimbo squaring off once again. Number 2 Clemson on the road in College Station to take on A&M. 7 Eastern, 6 Central, live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Clemson, Texas A&M later on tonight. Bob Wischusen and Brock Ewert, Allison Williams at Memorial Stadium. Reese Washington weaves his way to about midfield, a gain of 4.5. Javier Edwards on the stop.
Yeah, and there's a lot of flash and sizzle in this system, but it comes down to those big boys up front. You have got to, if you're Colorado, get off blocks, and they're not doing it.
Martinez handles a tough snap, rifles one on a slant intended for J.D. Spielman. Incomplete. From Colorado's standpoint, Brock, how do you stabilize this game? To me, this third down here, with the way this game has gone, is an enormous down for this defense.
There's no question. You've got to get off the field. You want to stop a tempo team. Do not allow those chains to move the first time. Big play right here.
Empty backfield. Martinez, slant, incomplete, looking for Morgan. Flag down. Looks like they've got Dante Wigley.
And I think that's going to be the right call here. You know, we showcased earlier maybe some of those holds in the pit. But when you get out into space like that, Dante, beautiful route by Stanley. He just, right at the top of that route, has enough patience.
Holding. Defense, number 4. 10-yard penalty by rule. Automatic first down.
There's some moments of truth, young wide receivers, to set up your route. It's not right at the line, right? It's being able to take a breath, and when you've closed that cushion, you set up that route, and there's nothing Wigley could do but grab at Stanley Morgan right in full view of everybody. You see the hands around the hip, an obvious call.
Swing pass to Washington, thrown behind him. Good adjustment to the ball. Ridden out of bounds for 2. Nick Fisher closed ground very quickly on Maurice Washington. And there's a young man who has a very bright future. Nick Fisher. Major in strategic communications, ethnic studies, and leadership studies. He's represented Colorado in many conferences. Martinez out of bounds. At the 35-yard line, Delrick Abrams, who didn't have one Division I offer out of high school, was there to push him out.
They like playing him to the short side of the field. That's where in college football you can play bigger corners. And he is awfully big at 6'3" and about 190 pounds. When they have to cover as much ground with the wide hash marks into the short side of the field, you better be able to tackle.
Might be 4-down territory for Nebraska. 3rd down and 5. At the plus 35. Wide run for Washington. And now we'll find out. It looks like what Nebraska and Scott Frost will do. 4th down and 2. Not quite in field goal range yet, you wouldn't think, at the Colorado 32.
And a true freshman kicker, when asked how far can he kick it, he said, we like touchdowns.
They're going to go tempo. They're just going to line up and go for it on 4th down. And now we'll look over.
What's the range? 50? 52? No, we like touchdowns.
A true freshman quarterback and a true freshman tailback on 4th down and 2.
First charge timeout.
So Scott Frost wants to talk things over. Will Nebraska go for it after all? We'll find out when we come back. Wischusen, Brock Ewart, Allison Williams back in Lincoln. Nebraska is indeed lining up to go for it after the timeout, but they now have the senior running back, Devine Ezigbo, in there instead of the true freshman, Maurice Washington. Brock, 181-6 rushing yards. If you're wondering why they're going for it, that number probably tells you why.
There's no question, and 2 big tight ends in as well.
Where would you go?
I would trust my guys up the middle.
Ezigbo. He is stopped short. Gets the exact thing they need from their defense. And that is Nate Landman knifing through and a stop on down.
Yeah, it's Landman and it's Gamboa. It's those 2 linebackers that said enough's enough. I'm not going to sit here and be on my heels. I'm going to go attack the gap. You saw Gamboa. He shoots through that front side A gap. Landman is so poised in there. For all the praise of Martinez and his confidence and his cool, you're seeing on the other side with a first-year starting linebacker in Landman that's equaling it in a big-time play from those 2 backers.
So decisive. Both of those linebackers getting penetration and exactly what the Buffs needed. Now a jet sweep to Laviska Shenault. To the 38-yard line for 5.
You just love the massive emotion swings. Is Shenault a little slow to get up? Just the momentum and the emotion that can swing in college football so wildly. As the Buffalo game breaker is trying to get himself right on the sidelines.
His first career start last week at a 200-yard game. Now it's KD Nixon losing yards. Back to the 32, he lost 6. Again, it's Barry.
It's Barry, but it's inside penetration from Akamuladoon. Freedom in there, number 91. Making that play, allowing his buddies to clean up.
Big play here. After getting the turnover on downs, the last thing you want to do is have your offense go out and go 3 and out. Here comes the blitz. Montez flags down. He's down as well. Luke Gifford was all over Steven Montez.
Holy offense, number 21. Penalties to the line. Result of the play, 4th down.
Yeah, you've got just pressure looks here. And if you're Montez, your clock has got to pick up a little bit. You're going to see just the whole pocket collapse everywhere. There's nowhere to run. You got one-on-ones outside. And at a point, you're just going to simply have to say, hey, you got to give our wide receivers a chance. Even if it's one-on-one and they're covered up, you have got to trust your senior receivers in Ento, in Winfrey to go up and make a play for you. Because that pocket is just collapsing.
Returnable for Lindsey from the 25. Down he goes.
What a punt.
And what a tackle on special teams. Kabion Ento got down there to make the stop. Week 1, ESPN, Monday Night Football. It's a doubleheader that kicks off with the Lions and the Jets in the Motor City at 7:10 Eastern. And then at 10:15, Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and the Rams in Oakland to take on John Gruden's Raiders. And Chucky's debut. Both games will be simulcast on ESPN2 in Spanish and available on the ESPN app.
Speaking of young quarterbacks, you got a young one starting there for the Jets, don't you?
Yeah, he's really young, like the youngest since the merger. Sam Darnold will be the Jets starter on Monday night. Spielman with a stiff arm. Out of bounds at the 25.
Four-yard gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 6 from the 25.
Up the middle. Into the open field is Greg Bell. The Buffs track him down. Not until he gets to the Colorado 30-yard line.
What a terrific job by the right guard there, Tanner Farmer. We showed the 4th down play where those linebackers knife in and make the play. Well, not that time. They run once again right between the tackles. And the big senior guard, Farmer, gets onto those linebackers, provides the crease, and Bell does the rest.
45 more for Greg Bell on that play. Martinez, swing pass to Ezigbo. One-on-one in the open field. And Ezigbo is brought down. Might have lost a half-yard. Great one-on-one tackle by Rick Gamboa.
Yeah, Gamboa is showing up. The 2-time captain on that side for Colorado. You got 2 good linebackers. I talked about Landman earlier. He's got a senior right next to him, and those 2 make a difference for you.
72 players have gone by the 200 tackle mark in Colorado history. Gamboa the latest. Ezigbo up the middle for 5. So another big 3rd down here, forced by the CU defense.
This Colorado defense has just been on the field seemingly this entire first half, certainly the last quarter and a half. You can see hands on hips. And just look at the rushing damage that is done there, and that wears on you.
Ezigbo dodging tacklers right to the 1st down marker. On the air, Edwards brought him down, but without measurement. The officials say 1st down Nebraska at the 20.
It's got 42 plays here in the first half for Nebraska. 32 of them the running variety. If you were wondering what Mr. Frost was going to do coming back to Nebraska, what kind of ball he was going to play, this is going to be a run-first football team.
Play fake for Martinez. Sidearms one to the 5-yard line. Kurt Raftoff is given the diving catch. They'll mark him down at the 6. It's 1st and goal.
Wow, was that Mackenzie Milton at UCF, or was that Adrian Martinez slinging that thing? Wow. Just finding a way out on the run. You can't set your feet, can't square your shoulders. You just fling it and wing it to the 5.
Ezigbo grinding his way closer to the goal line. Turned back just outside the 2. The keeper for Martinez, and an easy Husker touchdown. His 2nd of the game. season, Nebraska did not rush for more than 225 yards in a game. They've got 245 in the first half. We return and we honor those who serve. Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. And we honor Damian Jackson. That's a former Navy SEAL, 27 years old, and a redshirt freshman on the sidelines as a defensive lineman for Nebraska. Never played organized football before college, and we thank him for his service.
We sure do, and I also thank you, Damian, for the influence you're going to have in this program.
K.D. Nixon tripped up at the 25-yard line. Allison?
Well, guys, this stadium was built to honor Nebraskans that gave their life serving in the armed forces. And this year, as a special tribute to the 100-year anniversary of the end of World War I, they have a POW MIA chair. It will be empty for each game, but there will be a guard. And today's guard is retired Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Fisher. He served over 30 years in the Army and the Air Force. He won the Purple Heart in 2011. And guys, I spoke to him. He's all Nebraska today, but he went to Oklahoma, so he is a bit of a fan divided. But he's all about the Cornhuskers today, and very honored to be here next to the POW MIA chair.
We are honored to bring you his story. 3 straight 3-and-outs. Check that, 4 straight 3-and-outs for Colorado. McMillan in the open field. And this is an offense that's desperate to get something going. And, Brock, I would have to think the message from Mike McIntyre and the coaches on the Colorado sideline is, guys, we're down by 7. It might feel like we're down by 27. We are down by 7 points. 2 minutes to go in the half. Score a touchdown before halftime and start the game again. And there is the first down in the last 5 possessions for Colorado. And it comes courtesy of Laviska Shenault.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's what you have to have. You hear every analyst say this all through the college football season. Tempo teams need a first down. And those last 5 possessions, empty, could not get into any rhythm.
McMillan caught behind the line. A loss of 3. Tyron Ferguson knives through to make the stop. Timeout called by Colorado. We'll come back in 30 seconds. Closing in on the State Farm halftime report. Kevin Nagandi, Mac Brown, Jonathan Vilma will have first half highlights from our game. Scores from around college football, and there were some surprising ones. And to take a look at tonight's big games as well. High throw looking for Jawan Winfrey. Incomplete. Like some confusion there as to where Montez wanted to go with that screen out to the right. Couple of players looking back at him, and now it's 3rd down and 13.
And I don't think the coach's son is going to be wrong. He's one of them. Jay's saying, too, Stephen, like, and that thing was butchered from the very beginning. And again, there's just nothing on the perimeter. This pocket is squeezing in. This game is squeezing in on Colorado offensively. You have got to find something to push the ball down the field.
Prior to the snap, second charge timeout. Colorado, 30 seconds.
So the Buffs call a timeout before the snap, and that gives us a chance for another update with Cassidy.
Thanks, Bob. Carmex Drive, what's possible update. Notre Dame struggling against Ball State early. First play after an interception, Tony Jones Jr. with a 31-yard TD run. Creates a little more space for the Fighting Irish, now up 14-3 in the second. Back to you guys.
All right, Cassidy, thanks very much. Again, Bob Wishoes and Brock Ewert. Allison Williams here in Lincoln. One of the great scenes in college football, and they have been rocking ever since the first 2 possessions of the game. Nebraska opened this game, their first 2 possessions, with 2 fumbles. And Colorado turned both into touchdowns to take a 14-0 lead. It's been all Huskers since, and it's 3rd 13 after the timeout. 5-man rush. Screen thrown behind it. Winfrey reaches for the first down. What a big conversion for Colorado.
And for a big receiver that understood exactly what you needed right there, he did not waste any movement. He catches a perfectly thrown screen pass. Montez puts it on his numbers, allows him to have his eyes down the field and get exactly what Colorado needed.
That's Trey Neal. who was a graduate transfer that came from UCF to Nebraska to follow Scott Frost and the coaching staff from Central Florida to Lincoln. Earned his graduate transfer degree in August, and just about immediately decided to come play one more year of college football for the same coaching staff. Let's see if he can get up, as he has been the guy in the back end of that defense that's been the experience that's come to Lincoln and kind of been a coach on the field for this system with all of these players that were never in it before.
Yeah, I like what his teammates said. They call him the cheat sheet. That when you've got a couple years of experience in this system with Eric Shenander, the defensive coordinator, he knows the calls. He knows what to expect. On a very rare occasion, Colorado here in the first half got that call right on third down.
Trayvon McMillan trying to bounce it outside. And works hard for a yard and a half. Lamar Jackson made the stop. Colorado still with one timeout left as we close in on a minute to go in the first half. Montez tucks it under. Gets loose. Inside the 30. And he'll run out at the 25-yard line. Now with 50 seconds to go and a timeout, 16-yard scramble, Brock, that puts them at least in field goal range.
And that's huge. And you want to slow down a group that's just pinning their ears back at the time they just rushed 4. But he says, you know what, if the freshman on the other side can do it, and I know the impact it can have, Montez a good enough athlete to do the same.
Montez, this time well protected, throws a bullet up the seam, and it's incomplete. Winfrey was trying to fight his way through coverage, but Deontay Williams was able to muscle him away from the football.
And that's a throw at the next level. You see so many guys now just throw to the back shoulder. And it's hard to do that and trust that in the middle of the field. Very difficult to have that kind of trust, but that would have been the only spot that ball could have been thrown.
McMillan empties the backfield. Blitz. A screen behind it, looking for Nixon. And now the clock becomes an issue. Khalil Davis made the stop, and it looks like they will call their final timeout now. Dabo Swinney and number 2 Clemson face a tough non-conference road test against his old friend Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M. 7 Eastern, 6 Central, live on the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. Clemson and Texas A&M.
That is going to be hot and humid. And man, was it hot at game day, and they're expecting rain tonight. And there's a couple red hot quarterbacks right there. I expect to see more Trevor Lawrence. You know, this is certainly Kelly Bryant's job, and he has earned it. But kind of like we've seen at Alabama, eventually talent wins out. And Trevor is so immensely gifted. Yet another true freshman. You know, this is why I think the Adrian Martinez story isn't so uncommon as you're seeing it over college football, whether it's Trevor Lawrence there or the 4, 5, 6 true freshmen that are starting and getting their opportunities.
Now, take me inside the play call here for Colorado. 38 seconds, big third down. You're out of timeouts.
You do not go backwards. You do not take any sack. You get the ball out of your hands.
Plenty of time on the play clock for Montez to communicate with his offensive line. Still 10 to get the play off. Blitz coming. Picked up by McMillan. Montez takes a shot for McIntyre. Knocked away. How about the coverage from Deontay Williams?
There's that shot down the field. Finally starting to push it a little bit. You have to do this. And I'll tell you what, Nebraska fans said, man, a year ago, our secondary in these one-on-one situations just could not cover. And time and again today, they're getting it done in the first half.
So now they bring out the senior citizen, James Stefano, the oldest player in college football, born April of 1987 from Australia. Did he get the kickoff before a timeout was called?
Prior to the snap, second charge timeout. Nebraska.
So Nebraska's trying to ice a 31-year-old.
Isn't that the beauty of college football, honestly? When we have a Navy SEAL on one sideline, we have a 10-year professional soccer player from Australia in Stefano. You've got an 18-year-old from California. I mean, such amazing stories that we see time and again in college football. Never ceases to amaze.
Well, that academy, basically Australia, Pro Kick Australia, has populated so many FBS schools with place kickers. And Stefano is the latest edition of that. Luke Groza, semifinalist last season, and he comes into this season as the oldest player in college football.
And that's a program Michael Dixon, the phenom there, the punter out of Seattle with the Seahawks, comes out of as well. Kickers, punters, know how to kick that thing down in Australia.
So after the timeout, Stefano able to answer. And how important are those 3 points for Colorado before halftime?
Yeah, just gigantic. In the first 5 minutes of this game, it was all Colorado because of the turnovers. Adrian had the fumble. Scott, you could see on the sidelines like, oh, man, come on, young guys. You know, just take care of the football. You're moving the ball up and down the field. And Coach Mack's guys, well, they took advantage of that with 14. And then, well, this place came to life.
Just to get a few first downs, to get some points before halftime, how much does it now give you a feeling of a fresh start after you were able to open the game, making big plays defensively? Bell coughed one up. That led to the touchdown by Jay McIntyre. And then Martinez coughed one up as well. And that led to the touchdown by Laviska Shenault. It was 14-0 Buffs at this point.
Yeah, the one thing you're concerned about if you're Colorado, there's 45 plays that your defense has already seen. The majority of those runs. And like a boxing match, you have taken a lot of body blows. So you've got to find a way to make sure you've got enough juice left in the final 15 minutes on the road.
And a squib kick covered up. Now, having said all of that, you better solve that run defense problem and make some adjustments at halftime. And maybe it's deploying the troops just to try and sell out to stop the run and dare Martinez to beat you with his arm, because they gave up 245 yards rushing.
Yeah, but they've been in all different sorts. That's some of the challenge. It's been Martinez on scrambles. It's been the option play outside. It's been jet sweep. You know, that's one of the things Scott Frost does. He comes out of Chip Kelly's school. You know, there's just not a one-dimensional run game and program. They challenge you. You hear passing games say they challenge the whole entire field. Nebraska's run game does that, so it makes it difficult on that side, even adjustment-wise, to say, okay, we got to take this away. Well, what about that? What about that? What about that? Because they've done it all in the first half.
Maurice Washington spinning away from tacklers here. It goes down at the 20-yard line. And I would think Nebraska, at this point, will simply take their 4-point lead into the locker room. They have one more timeout, but why call it? So our halftime score, Nebraska with a 4-point lead, trailed by 14 to begin, answered with 21 points. A field goal for Colorado, though, makes it a 4-point lead at halftime. The State Farm halftime report right after the break. Welcome back to college football, presented by Walmart. And welcome back to the Big Ten on ABC. Just about set for the start of the third quarter in Lincoln. Colorado answer. They had a 14-0 lead to start the game off of 2 Huskers fumbles, 21 straight points for Nebraska, field goal before halftime for the Buffs. We've got a close game, although is it? Bob Wischusen and Brock Ewert, Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. Is this a steamroll of the second half for Nebraska, or is there hope for Colorado?
Well, if Colorado doesn't possess the ball a little bit more, yeah, this is going to get a little bit ugly in this venue. It's remarkable when you look at the stats at halftime. 245 rushing yards to 9, just 1 third down conversion, and yet you're down 4. And that is a testament to the great equalizer that is the takeaway.
Well, let's get you your Pacific Life game summary. And Brock, it began with turnovers for Nebraska, resulting in 2 straight touchdowns to start the game for Colorado.
Yeah, it was Nathan Landman, it was Davian Taylor doing an excellent job of getting their helmet in their hand in there and making the plays, and then there was a response. You knew there was going to be adversity that you were going to have to overcome, whether it's a freshman quarterback or it's the entire team, and Adrian Martinez, a little shake and bake for his first of, I think, many to come rushing touchdowns.
On Montez with a swing pass to Kyle Evans to start off the second half. And a good gain on first down of 9. How important is this first possession of the second half for Colorado?
You have just got to own the ball. I know you're a tempo team, and you don't get out of who you are, but possessing it in the less snaps for your defense in the second half, the better opportunity to win.
McIntyre has a first down.
They say the best defense is a great offense, but that is even further heightened when your defense was on the field for 46 plays in that first half and gave up those 243 rushing yards. So this is exactly what you want to do as a tempo team. Get that first down out the gate. That was scripted at halftime. These are the plays we're going to come back to. Easy completions to move the chains.
Evans for 2 yards. Oh, Barry made the stop.
I don't mind just a little bit of time. Like, just take a little extra beat here to make sure you get into the right play, that you protect yourself, and for Montez to continue to diagnose that defense.
Evans up the middle. Close to a first down, and you mentioned Montez diagnosing the defense. That extra push looks like it got Evans the first down. A lot was made about not only Montez playing for Mike McIntyre, who recruited Eli Manning to Ole Miss, a disciple of David Cutcliffe. Kurt Roper, the quarterback's coach, also a pupil of Cutcliffe, as he coached with him at Ole Miss and Duke. Evans for 4 more. But Steven Montez went to the Manning Passing Academy, and he got private time with Peyton and Eli. Now, you spent 2 years with Eli Manning, or rather with Peyton Manning, pardon me, as the backup in Indianapolis. As Montez looks for some room. What do you think he takes away, or any quarterback, if you just have a half hour to 45 minutes with the Mannings, Peyton specifically?
Attention to detail. I mean, it's as simple as that. In every last detail of not just your game, but everybody on your team. And then when you really take the next step, you start to know what everybody on that other side wants to do. And that has been the real push in his junior season.
Montez trying to keep the drive alive on 3rd down and 7. 4-man rush. Long throw to the sideline, on time to Jay McIntyre.
And guys, you're talking about the time that Steven Montez spent with the Mannings at their passing academy. He told me that they made him realize, not that just he had to just watch film, right? He was only watching film an hour or 2 a week last year. Now it's an hour or 2 a day. But how he watches film, he said, if I wasn't taking notes, I learned I was doing it wrong. They taught me how to watch film.
The previous play of a catch and first down is under review.
It looked like a clean catch by Jay McIntyre. While talking about the film that Steven Montez watches to prepare, as tutored by Peyton Manning. Well, we're going to take a look at some film here and see if McIntyre had control of the football. Clearly feet down, out of bounds. I'm not sure what about that is up for debate.
And the only thing they could buzz down, remember college football, every play is reviewed. Was he bobbling the ball? Did he gain possession before his feet in? I think from that view, the view we have, pretty obvious.
After review, the receiver did bobble the ball but regained possession with a foot in bounds. The field is confirmed. First down.
That was confirmed. That's a big 3rd down, by the way, and not a surprise to go to Jay McIntyre in that situation. And one of the rare times that Steven Montez has seen some soft zone coverage. It was so much man in your face, that pocket collapsing and pressure. And on that play, just a 4-man rush, zone coverage, a beautiful corner route to the sidelines, thrown underneath that zone defender that couldn't get to it.
Evans up the middle. Driven back by Khalil Davis and Barry after a gain of 2.
I've mentioned these stories time and again, but point to Kyle Evans as well. Running back there, a dislocated hip in 2017, coming all the way back here and being a force as a senior in 2018.
Montez off play action. Extends the play. Needs some help. Nowhere to go. Throws it away. Smart. And a flag thrown in the secondary. The only receiver anywhere on Montez's side of the field was Juwan Winfrey. He got tangled up down at the 10-yard line.
Holding. Defense number 21. 10-yard penalty. By rule. Automatic first down.
And that's the first time we've heard.
No grounding. The quarterback was outside the pocket, and the ball was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage.
Lamar Jackson's name there, and you're going to see as Montez flushes. Pretty obvious here from Lamar. He's a good one. He's in his hip pocket, but right here when that receiver breaks away, pull that jersey, that's going to be an obvious call.
That Brock's clicker thing is fancy.
That's dangerous.
First and 10. Knocking on the door of the red zone for the Buffs. Swing pass. Up on McIntyre. A gain of 2.
I like the poise of Montez here. Right? You do see just wild swings of momentum in college football, so much more than the next level, and your ability to handle it. The freshman did it on the other side. Montez, last 2 drives now, been on the money.
Bobbles the snap and underthrows Chenault. Did maintain his composure. Well, Jim Jeffcoat, not on the staff anymore, but he was the old Cowboy, obviously defensive line coach at one point for Colorado, and he was in El Paso looking for a lineman. Ended up being told by a different high school coach, you have to go see this Steven Montez kid. And did, and called up Mike McIntyre and said, Coach, we've got a quarterback. 3rd down and 8. Montez looking for the back left pylon. Incomplete. K.D. Nixon, the intended receiver. And it'll be a field goal for Colorado.
So this has to be one of the more encouraging signs for a Cornhusker fan that saw these corners a season ago picked on, broken. Even Lamar Jackson said, yeah, I didn't have a lot of confidence last season. Had to get a refresh mentally. Brutal. Jackson had been excellent in those one-on-one situations in the perimeter.
That time it was DiCaprio Boodle with perfect coverage. So to try and make it a 1-point game. Stefano from 35 yards out. And he's 2 for 2. A 1-point game in Lincoln. Points again for Colorado.
Welcome back. We have a 1-point game here in the 3rd quarter in Lincoln. We got a hog tackle. That's what Colorado head coach McIntyre told me at the half. He said, we practice it all the time. It's hog tackling. It's getting low. And so many times in that first half, we were way too high on guys. That led to missed tackles, slip tackles. He said, we make a few more of those, and we would be up at the half. But they didn't, so they went in down. But he said his guys were ready to play to start the second half, and we saw him get a field goal on that first drive, guys.
Well, Nebraska has run for 243 yards. I have a hard time believing it comes down to just a few missed tackles as Spielman brings it out, but that's certainly the message you have to try and deliver to your young team. As Spielman brought down at the 15-yard line. Again, we check in with Cassidy.
It's time for the PlayStation View multi-view with these 3 live events, and over on ESPN right now, championship point number 2, Serena Williams down a set already, and emotions are running high. And on ESPN 2, Alabama up big, and Serena Williams actually just lost the U.S. Open's women's final. Bob, Brock, Allison, back to you.
Wow, talk about an upset. Serena goes down in Flushing. And we've got a 1-point game here in Lincoln as Colorado has come back with a couple of field goals. Now it's back to the offense. Adrian Martinez, play action on first down. Contested throw to Stanley Morgan, and he's got it. A gain of 5.
I'll say this about Naomi Osaka. She wanted Serena. She said it. I want to play Serena in the finals. And you know what? I think make an easy transition here. Adrian Martinez wanted this job. He wanted this job. He wanted to prove to Scott Frost he was ready to play. He was the most ready to play a week ago, said Coach Frost, of any of his players. Put together an excellent first half.
Right bell. A yard. And is the momentum starting to swing back the other direction a bit? A field goal before halftime for Colorado. And now after first down, let's take a look at Martinez. And he has a right calf grab. And now he will go down and lost the football. Is that a fumble? At the 15-yard line.
Fourth down.
And that is a very important call by the officials. The announcement was that the runner's forward progress was stopped. Well, that's not reviewable. So even if you feel like he's losing the football on the way down, you can't rule this a fumble, because forward progress is not something that you can review.
Yeah, that's a wonderful play from Johnson. Cannot tell if that ball is coming loose. I think that left forearm is down before the ball comes loose anyway. That's the first sack. And you want to talk about a hog tackle right there? Is Martinez, I think both calf and his wits trying to gather them right there. That was a pretty darn good example of it. You wrap and you do not let that quarterback or that running back loose.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Well, just before the sack, Brock, talking about the momentum in this game. Right before halftime, Colorado gets points. They make it a 4-point game. Then they come out to start the third quarter, methodically march down the field, stalled, but got 3 more to make it a 1-point game. And now Nebraska with a 3-and-out, punting from the end zone. Motion everywhere.
Offside, defense with contact. 5-yard penalty, remain fourth down.
So we're back to where we started. But if there is a moment in the game where you can feel the crowd getting quiet and momentum possibly shifting, it's right here. Colorado should get great field position and a chance to take the lead back. And they'll set up a return for Blackman. Makes the first man miss. Eventually goes down. Still excellent field position for the Buffs at their own 41-yard line in a 1-point game. Takes some effort to fill up all those balloons, and when Nebraska scores their first touchdown, this is what happens at Memorial Stadium. This is the scene in the first half as the touchdown balloons released.
Can I ask a really inappropriate question? What if they were shut out? Do you get to pop all those balloons, or do they get released in the middle of the night, or they just wait for the helium to die out? It's a good thing they've not had that issue here. That's the coach's son always thinking the downside. I'm sorry.
Abushusin, the depressing Brock Ewart, and Allison Williams here at Memorial Stadium. Chenault, he was about to get walloped, and he even caught the football. Aaron Williams was lurking right behind Laviska Chenault. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and this a spot where Colorado desperately needs to take advantage of great field position.
You think they had a target on number 2 coming into today? 11 catches, 200 yards a week ago. Nebraska has known just where he is on every play.
Screen, nothing there. Luke Gifford. He smelled that one coming from a mile away. It's a 4-yard loss as McMillan goes down. And here comes the crowd again on 3rd down and 14. Montez out of the pocket. He goes down again. Tyron Ferguson. A loss of 5 more.
Well, that was a really cool chess match there. You saw on one side Montez do what they call a freeze play. He claps. He tries to get that defense to diagnose, or he tries to diagnose and read what they're doing. He slid the protection the other way. Nebraska says, that's fine. We too can change what we do, even in year 1 of this system. A wonderful little chess match there that left Montez running for his life, and Ferguson getting the Cornhuskers' 4th sack.
Barely getting it away was Alex Kinney. John Lindsay with a flag down to his 34-yard line. That was a big stop by the Nebraska defense as well, to get a sack, to get a 3-and-out. They hold on to the lead, and Colorado does nothing with great field position.
During the kick, holding receivers. That penalty is enforced from the end of the kick, 10 yards, first down.
How did Scott Frost eventually, as the prodigal son, come back to Lincoln? Well, it all began as a player from Stanford to Nebraska. Then 4 NFL teams, the Jets, Browns, and Packers. Eventually with the Bucks as well. An assistant coach at Northern Iowa, Oregon, the UCF head coach, and then finally in December of last year accepts the head coaching job back, revisiting his glory years at Nebraska. Going down and somehow getting a pass off was Adrian Martinez. They will rule him down by contact.
Second down.
And it seemed pretty clear that that is going to be the right call by the officials, and it avoids disaster for Nebraska.
Well, it's Mustafa Johnson yet again. He had the sack on the previous possession, and clearly the left knee down. And clearly this is going to be a no-no. Don't you ever try to do this again. And good for you in a split second. That knee obviously down. Terrific play. We've called Johnson's name a number of times. Been a difference maker.
Swing pass to Ezigbo. He makes a man miss. And he's got a first down.
All those stops along the way for Scott Frost led him right back home. And as an example of just how excited this community was about that, there's a book about his return home. Before he even coached a game, this thing was published. But keep in mind, guys, he didn't just play here. He grew up here. His parents were both coaches locally. They were kind of academics or athletic celebrities here in town. And how about this? In the book, there is actually a picture of a letter from Tom Osborne when Frost was a sophomore, encouraging him to keep working hard. And guys, you know all the Cornhuskers fans are excited for the next chapter of Nebraska history that Scott Frost writes.
Impressive. He actually hosted me on my recruiting trip to Stanford. How about that? Over 20 years ago. It's almost 25 years ago. And you could tell then he had an itch to get back home. Left Stanford, won the national title here. And certainly an itch to come back and build this program up to what it was in those Osborne days.
We want to come back to someplace special, and Nebraska is special. Mike Williams making that catch. He's a junior college transfer from East Mississippi Community College. It is a Nebraska first down. Keep it on the ground with Ezigbo. And he is brought down, lost the ball, but down by contact. And a funny story about Mike Williams. He gets the call that he's got a scholarship offer and he's going to transfer to Nebraska on a Sunday. He makes the drive up to Lincoln. By Wednesday of that week, he gets recognized in a restaurant here. He's a junior college transfer that only accepted the offer on Sunday. He was already known in Lincoln to Husker fans.
It's a little different here.
And he said he had no Nebraska gear on, wasn't carrying the backpack. I mean, nothing to tell you that he was a Nebraska football player. As Martinez takes a shot and drops it in. J.D. Spielman walks it in for a touchdown.
Just wondered when Spielman was going to get into the act. Set all the freshman records a year ago. 7th best receiving season in the history of Nebraska. And Martinez showed off the legs in that first half. It's almost been the adjustment in the second of, hey, we protected so well up front. Let's take some shots down the field. That inside seam route there from Spielman. He blows by 2 Buffalo defenders, and you can't place it any better than that.
Nebraska back up by 8. 5:35 to go in the third quarter. Adrian Martinez takes a shot, and J.D. Spielman does the rest. 57 yards. Still a one-possession game. We are back with a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And there are some teams in the top 10 doing work right now. Georgia at South Carolina with a 17-point lead. And Notre Dame comfortably in front of Ball State. Washington an early 10-0 lead against North Dakota.
I heard the Bear this morning. There took Arkansas State. A whole lot of points. Thought, well, this is one of those games Alabama comes home and maybe doesn't take care of business. 40 points in the first half. Are you kidding me?
How about the touchdown throw from Adrian Martinez and a freshman quarterback, Brock, showing you something?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So you've got a vertical route here and a hitch route from Stanley Morgan. Those are your two routes and two choices. Okay, now what's really cool here is there's a moment of truth. A young quarterback can take this hitch. There's a lot of cushion, and a lot of freshmen take it, but not Adrian. He sees a massive amount of green grass, and in that moment he says, nope, I'm going to give JD that chance. You know, this whole idea and the mindset that Scott Frost has here, a big sign right outside their weight room, there's no fear of failure. You just don't take the conservative, just go the easy route, throw the little hitch route, and just play it safe. A lot of coaches would teach that. Just take what's there, just take what's there. Nope, I've got JD there, man, and if he's even, he's leaving with that amount of green grass. I'm going to put 6 on the board.
Can Montez answer? The pass rush gets home again. Down he goes. Sack number 6 for the Huskers. Then it's Khalil Davis again. The Davis brothers, his twin brother Carlos, they're both doing work up front.
Yeah, the big man, it's all about his hands. Watch him right here. He just uses his hands. He splits the double team. He says, thanks, but no thanks. And in that combat at the line of scrimmage, you see time and again who gets their hands on the other first often wins. Man alive, is this place electric.
Play clock at 2. Seam route, incomplete, looking for McIntyre. And McIntyre thought he was held. Third down and 19.
And in some stadiums, there's one end that's a little louder than the others. Not here. They're both deafening when you're looking at your own goal line behind you.
Timeout called by Nebraska.
First
I think Nebraska only had 10 on the field.
Nebraska, 30-second timeout.
And I think it was Trey Neal that recognized it. The grad transfer safety from UCF, who played for Scott Frost, of course, there, ran up and took care of business. Kicking off the NFL season, it's Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. Then Roethlisberger one-on-one with Boomer, Chris Berman. Deshaun Watson discusses his return with Marty Smith. And Randy Moss ranks this week's best catches from college football. And you got Moss. Get your NFL Sunday on opening weekend underway tomorrow at 10 a.m. on ESPN.
And that guy's, you know, that we showed that map of everywhere he's been. And Tom Osborne made a really good point with Allison earlier. He's not just a quarterback. He's been a defensive coordinator. He played safety in the league. His influences are in every phase of the game. A special teamer in the NFL, too. Understands how to put the whole package together.
Montez to the sideline, coming back to help his quarterback is Winfrey, and he backs his way for a first down. On 3rd down and 19, Colorado gets it. A gain of 20.
Yeah, and for one of the rare times that Nebraska secondary's eyes got a little bit lost. So you see a big man for Colorado down at the line of scrimmage.
That's the left tackle, Josh Kaiser. So that tempers the enthusiasm a bit of just picking up that first down. 20-yard gain as you are looking at your senior left tackle down, and they are looking at his right leg, maybe his right ankle.
Told you, man, this clicker's a little bit dangerous. I also talked about the eyes, and look at Lamar Jackson here. Okay, this is 3rd and extra long, and his eyes are all the way back into the quarterback. And when he scrambles, and he's got his own responsibility to the outside. Okay, this is his area of coverage. He's cheating. He's thinking the quarterback's going to scramble, and he's going to make a play on it, and instead loses sight, vacates that zone, and because of it, Winfrey, an enormous play. And Lamar's been good. I mean, we've not called their name an awful lot. I just loved his comments. You know, he said, we're really benefiting from the way we do things. When you play corner, you want to talk about a fear of failure. You can have it. No career interceptions. Last year out on the edge and on the perimeter, just sometimes just afraid to pull the trigger and make a play. That mindset has largely changed, but an excellent job by Montez to buy a little extra time to make that play happen.
That's a redshirt freshman, William Sherman, that takes over at left tackle. So in a day where already Nebraska has more sacks than they've had in any game in 4 years, senior left tackle out, redshirt freshman back up in. Jet sweep. It's Winfrey again. Maintains his balance and takes a hit out of bounds. That was a dangerous one from the Nebraska defense. Tyron Ferguson hit him, and it looked like he was pretty well out of bounds when he got hit, but there is no flag thrown.
And that's pretty remarkable. He is a yard out of bounds. And Tyron Ferguson is just barreling down on him. He's coming across. He is a yard out of bounds. I mean, I totally get letting the kids play, and they've done that largely. But when you are out of bounds and you think you are protected and you take a shot like that, I am shocked to not see the penalty flag.
Montez, a strike to Chenault. To the 42-yard line of Nebraska.
Well, you want a little Manning training? You talked about Eli and Peyton earlier. It's a pretty good look at it here in all the training with Coach Roper to stand strong, to not get frenetic back there, to trust your fundamentals, step up and throw a dart.
Kyle Evans may have picked up a foot. Nick Stoltenberg was there to grab him around the ankles.
And look at Big Nick, the captain, right in the middle. A lot of these parts are interchangeable in Eric Shenander's defense, right? The ends can play both sides. That guy's a nose tackle through and through.
Action for Montez. Nowhere to go with the football. And heaves it to the sideline. Was he out of the pocket? He got the ball back to the line of scrimmage. The sideline for Nebraska.
And threw the ball beyond. There's no intentional grounding. Third down.
Sideline for Nebraska was looking for an intentional grounding flag, but the officials say he got outside of the pocket. The ball definitely got back past the line of scrimmage.
And I think that's a good call. I think it is close, and when it is close, they're going to favor, like baseball, like a tie. You're going to favor the quarterback there to protect himself. Tie goes to the runner. That call typically goes to the quarterback if it's gray at all.
Sets up another big third down.
It sets up a pressure look here from Nebraska. It was press man-to-man.
Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
And that's 6 sacks. That's looking at defenders there at the line of scrimmage or in your face. That's after a throwaway now. That play clock starts faster. So you scramble, you throw it away. You got to get back and get everything set. But that delay of game, as much as anything, you can attribute to that constant pressure, the harassment, the sacks, the weighs on a quarterback.
Blitz coming on 3rd and long. Taking a shot down the sideline is Montez. Reaching out is Chenault. He's got it. It's 1st and goal for Colorado.
Same route. That's a hitch with that inside seam. You see it more and more at every single level as you see Colorado rushing to the line. And that's Montez saying to Martinez, you can do it. As a junior, I can do it better.
Actually mark him down at the 11. So 1st and 10 from the 11. Another huge 3rd down conversion. Evans. Brought down shy of the 10-yard line. Not much on 1st down.
And it's a huge 3rd down conversion that's really all about the quarterback. There's very little separation. There is a tiny cereal box to drop that sucker in 35 yards down the field, but that's exactly what he does, and there's no doubt Chenault Montez have got one heck of a connection brewing this season.
Evans up the middle. To the 8-yard line. Colorado can pick up a first down without scoring. They have to get it inside the 1. So this will be 3rd down and 7 from the 8.
I like that first down run, but man, that second down run right there into a lot of bodies puts a lot of pressure on this 3rd down.
Another blitz. McIntyre to the pylon, walks in with a touchdown. His second of the day.
You talk about rub routes or pick routes. There's no such thing when the ball is thrown behind the line. Watch all the Colorado receivers block down. You can block down. You can hit anybody you want. When that ball is thrown a yard behind the line of scrimmage, almost like a little swing route. An excellent job there. Second touchdown for the coach's son.
Now, Mike McIntyre playing this more like the NFL coaches would than college coaches. He's not chasing the point yet. He's going to kick the point after and make it a 1-point game. It's still the 3rd quarter. We'll talk about, from Brock's standpoint, whether or not he thinks they should have gone for 2 there after we check in with Cassidy.
Thanks, Bob. Ole Miss in some trouble against Southern Illinois. Look at this play. Sam Straub drops the snap, collects it, finds Raphael Leonard, who then delivers the stiff arm and gets in for the 70-yard score. Southern Illinois up 38-35 at the half over on the SEC Network. Bob, Brock, Allison, back to you.
They are not going to be happy in the Grove if that result stands up. But, Brock, we've got a 1-point game again. Could have been a 2-point game. Could have been tied. And Mike McIntyre opted to go for 2. We'll see what Dabo Swinney and Clemson put together tonight against Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M. Clemson and A&M, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Live on the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. Spielman will take a knee. Would you have gone for 2?
I don't think so. I mean, just look at the number of plays here. 59-55. We're not even to the 4th quarter. I just, there's so much football left to play, and we have seen that and felt that over the course of this game that I think that's the wise decision. There's 6 minutes to go in the 4th. I think that's what those coaches' sheets have, right? They've always got the little decision-making process. Then it may be a little bit different. But after you score this touchdown on a perfectly execute, that's all about timing. You can see the receivers in front. They're all blocking down the field. That's because that ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. And it makes and paves an easy way there for McIntyre's second touchdown.
It must be amazing for Mike McIntyre to see his son Jay out there scoring touchdowns for him. He played for his father as well, George McIntyre. At one point during a long coaching career was at Vanderbilt, and Mike was one of his players.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And now Adrian Martinez, just unaware. The true freshman takes a delay of game to start the drive off.
I think Scott Frost didn't mutter anything, but in his head said that's what true freshmen do sometimes.
Screen. Maurice Washington, blockers in front. Close to a first down.
Nice job by the big fellas getting out in front here. Just a bunch of Velcro. Right, again, well-timed. Those screens, whether on the perimeter or over there between the tackles, and look at the Velcro outside. The opportunity for the freshman to get the big gain.
Washington doing a Barry Sanders impersonation to pick up a first down and more. Rick Gamboa and Kyle Trigo in on the stop.
A lot of hog tackling there. A lot of diving, head down, arms reaching. That's exactly what Coach McIntyre pointed to in that first half. Poor tackling, allowing too many yards after contact.
Option. The pitch to Lindsey. Nowhere to go. Very well done out on the edge by Colorado defensively. It was Nick Fisher that held his ground. No gain.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10 from the Nebraska 44.
So you heard how loud it was on the other side on every one of those third downs. Listen to this. I mean, there is nothing. I think if I screamed out from the box up here, people could hear me because it is nearly dead silent in this building.
coordinator. When it's third down and their defense is out, it's about 105 decibels, equal to a diesel truck. But when it's the offense out there on third down, it's in the low 70s, which is like loud singing. You are right, though. It gets very quiet when they need it to be.
And they get one more snap off before the end of the quarter. Martinez floats one to the goal line. Stanley Morgan lost it. All 90,000 were about to take it back up to 105 decibels. They thought the senior had a touchdown. You don't normally see Stanley Morgan cough it up when he has a chance for 6, but he drops it right at the goal line to end the third quarter. Before we start the fourth quarter, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And Brock, quarterback comparison, both have played very well today.
Lights out. I mean, that completion percentage is off the charts, and as you just saw there, that really should be 15 to 17, 215, and 2 touchdowns for Martinez as that ball slipped through the fingers of Stanley Morgan.
And off to Maurice Washington, stiff arm, run out by Delrick Abrams. Bob Wischusen here with Brock Ewart and Allison Williams. An old Big 8 rivalry game between Colorado and Nebraska heads to the fourth quarter, separated by a point. Martinez out of the pocket. Sturts it across his body. Sets up a big third down. Or check that, fourth down.
And a big-time decision that Scott Frost does not hesitate for a second.
This to extend the lead up to 4. And this is a true freshman kicker, Barrett Pickering. So this is his first ever field goal attempt. He's been perfect so far today on point afters. But 0 for 1 on his career kicking field goals. So Colorado gets the ball back down by only 1 early fourth quarter.
And as Colorado gets the ball back, I would think in the final 14 minutes we're going to continue to see a whole lot of LaVisca Chenault. He's been everywhere. He's the Johnny Cash of this football team. He's a slot receiver. He's a wildcat quarterback on a rushing touchdown. He'll play receiver on the perimeter. He'll catch big third down passes out of the slot. I mean, he really is remarkably at 6'2 plus 220 pounds of receiver first. You know, many times we see these slash players and they're not really anything. They're a little bit of a bunch of positions. He is a receiver that just so happens to be tough enough to play that tight end spot and the running back spot. He is quite a weapon.
And here he is, first drive of the fourth quarter. Begins with Chenault for Colorado. An end around that picks up 7.
I just love the toughness, man. I mean, he will come back in their zone scheme, and he has the backside end to cut down and to collision with. You saw it on that fourth down conversion, the trust that this staff has in him to do everything.
Flags down.
False start, 55 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Brock LaVisca Chenault is tough and he is strong in the weight room. He doesn't work out with the receivers. When it's time to do squats, he's with the linemen. He squatted 475 pounds. That is a wide receiver. That's absolutely remarkable.
Montez to the sideline, reaching up to make the catches. Jawan Winfrey. That's good for a first down. And Winfrey's a good looking wide receiver as well.
He is. New Jersey kid, junior college transfer. Last week, just 2 receptions. And I loved what Coach Shiverini, the offensive coordinator, said to us. He goes, he didn't complain at all. He was happy for everybody else's success because he knew he would get his opportunity. He's gotten it today, and he has delivered.
For 2 yards.
Tell you what, they have committed to that here in the second half, haven't they? It's not been a big run after big run. This group here for Nebraska in their front seven, they've committed numbers to stopping it, but I'll tell you what that does is it sets up play action. It keeps eyes into the backfield. It opens up maybe just a half step out on the perimeter, which they have Colorado taking advantage of here in the second half.
Here comes a blitz off the corner. Man-to-man down the sideline. K.D. Nixon can't haul it in. Steven Montez threw down the sideline into one-on-one coverage right over the top of the side where the corner blitz came from.
And that was Mr. Boodle again. I mean, we have called DiCaprio's name 3-4 times in the red zone. They've been testing him. There is no doubt he had a mark on him coming into this game to challenge. And he has delivered again and again and again and again on that one.
3rd down and 8. Four-man rush. Under pressure. Montez gets out of the pocket. He's going to try and run for it. And he will slide and give himself up. And the moment that he does that, wherever the football is, the officials mark it down. So he's 2 yards shy of a first down. It'll be 4th down and a full 2, maybe 2.5 yards.
And I bet you, if you asked Steven, he thought he had that. I mean, it is a unique sense for guys. And by the way, unique here is Colorado is looking like they're going to go for this.
And a 1-point game with 12:15 to go on their side of the 50. You like this call?
And this is going to be the Wildcat run play, if anything else, which they ran for the touchdown. No, this is too much risk for me.
Laviska Shenault takes the direct snap on 4th down. Right at the marker. It all depends on the spot. Mohamed Barry made the stop, and if he is short, he is short by a couple of inches.
Oh, I like not going for 2 and chasing those points, but you're on your side of the 50 here with 12 minutes to go. That is an awful lot of risk. It looks like that knee went down before Shenault was able to reach the ball out.
Will the gamble pay off for Mike McIntyre? They're going to stretch the chains and let us know. Oh, my goodness. Wow. That is literally the nose of the football. If Gene Steratore was down there, he might have taken out the credit card and tried to slide it, the index card, try to slide it in between. That is how close that measurement was. And now they're going to go up to the replay booth just to make sure they got the spot right.
One of the keys here is that knee. Did that knee go down? And when that knee touches down, where is the ball?
Now you have to have indisputable video evidence to say that at no point there, as Shenault was going down, that he got the nose of the football to the 48-yard line. And you can't see the football. At least from both of the angles we've seen so far, his body shields the ball. Now, I don't know how you would ever look at those replays and change the spot.
The ruling on the field stands.
Yeah.
First down.
That's the right call.
Yeah, I think that has to stand. Scott doesn't like it, and he's pretty upset about it. From his vantage point, I'm sure he was watching that play right on that marker. He felt like that ball never got there, but that is a testament to the confidence Mike McIntyre has in his best player, Shenault.
Easy pitch and catch. And breaking a tackle. And picking up a first down is Tony Brown. First time we've called Tony Brown's number today. The transfer from Texas Tech. Trayvon McMillan Nice jab step at the line. Weaves his way for about 9 yards. And Mullidoon brought him down.
Yeah, it was that jab step that led to over a 100-yard day last week with a touchdown, the Virginia Tech transfer, and that's why you continue to be patient with that run game. If it's 0, if it's 2, if it's 2, eventually you've got to commit to it. Try to wear down that Nebraska front.
They gave him progress to the 31. Good for a first down. There's McMillan right up the middle. Into the red zone. 12 more and another Colorado first down.
And that big time block there from Purcell. In the back of nose tackle, Newell trying to give Stoltenberg a breather. And they're running right between the guards.
McMillan again. Breaking tackles in the backfield. Lost a yard. Well, Darren Chiaverini, the offensive coordinator for Colorado, gave Trayvon McMillan and Kyle Evans the nickname Thunder and Lightning. It was lightning in there to start the drive. Now they're bringing the thunder.
They've set up some pretty good play action pass with all of that interior run. If you want to influence those linebackers, try to take a shot down the field. You've done so effectively by committing to that run game.
Play action for Montez. Has to throw it away.
Quarterback is out of the pocket. No intentional grounding.
3rd down and 11 at the 20-yard line. He's been the money man on 3rd down. It's been his legs, been his arm. 3-4 occasions here in this second half. He converted 3rd downs because of Mr. Montez, Allison.
Well, guys, one of their big-time playmakers, Katie Nixon, their wide receiver, is not out there right now. He's receiving medical attention on the bench from the athletic training staff. Looks like it might be some sort of shoulder injury, but keep in mind, he is not there. He's a major weapon.
Although they do have Laviska Shenault, he is in the slot right to the top of your screen. Montez looks left instead. Incomplete. He wanted Kavion Ento. He got tangled up with Aaron Williams and fell inside the 10-yard line. And no flag comes out, so it will be a field goal attempt for Colorado to try and take the lead. Now Nebraska's got a true freshman kicker who missed trying to extend the lead a short time ago. The oldest player in college football kicks for Colorado. Born back in 1987, James Stefano from 37 yards out. Looks at left. And he can't convert. Nebraska holds on to a 1-point lead. The momentum continues to swing here in Lincoln.
The college football playoff lives on ESPN.
We're back in Lincoln, but tonight after Michigan State, Arizona State on ESPN. Stan and Max have Sports Center for you. Kirk Herbstreit joins the show with his college football standouts. All the best sights and sounds from the gridiron. And Serena was going for history, but it ends in controversy at the U.S. Open. Sports Center after football, 1:45 M Eastern. Later on tonight, quarterback draw for Adrian Martinez on first down. Picks up 5.
It's sometimes hard to draw a whole bunch of football with the tempo that Nebraska plays, but let me just tell you from an X's and O's standpoint, the number of times they get an advantage through their motions and shifts and number counts, it's such a huge part of what they do.
Greg Bell.
You know, you watch all this motion and shift, you think, oh, is this just eye candy and distraction? No, it never is. It is constantly trying to get an extra advantage, especially when you've got a running quarterback. It puts such a burden on that defense.
Big 3rd down.
Huge.
Bell finds a crease into the secondary and drags a tackler to the 50-yard line. Nick Fisher. And Delrick Abrams were trying to track him down. A gain of 20. They saved a touchdown.
Well, that's exactly what Colorado needed right there. Abrams in some one-on-one situations at times today have been challenged, and that time he got right on the back, and you make sure you secure that tackle as the last line of defense.
Pass out to Spielman. He gets hit hard at midfield. Picked up a yard.
Wiggly, man, he brought everything he had in his 190 pounds. There has been some running and hitting today. I think we all look forward to seeing these two helmets play again. Right? We all watched it for decades, this old Big A rivalry. And these kids playing as hard as anybody that played in the 80s and the 90s throughout the peak of that rivalry.
That toss out on the edge is a live ball, and Spielman covers it up. That looked like a backwards pitch from Adrian Martinez. And so that will be a loss.
Yep.
It's a loss of 3. Brings up another big third down, this time 3rd and long. Frank Bell empties the backfield. 4-man rush. Martinez out of the pocket. All kinds of room. He'll tuck it under and run. Brought down maybe a yard shy of the first down. And now a decision for Scott Frost. Do you punt to Deep Rock and pin Colorado if you can inside the 10? Or do you look at this as maybe a knockout punch?
Yeah, I think you just watched your freshman kicker miss. I think that thought about scoring touchdowns over the course of this game in the final 7 minutes, that's paramount. He's going to go.
Bell is blown up before he gets anywhere close. Nate Landman, another tackle on a 4th down stop for Colorado. And great field position for the Buffs as they get the takeaway on downs.
This kid is something special. Middle linebackers change your defense when you're strong from the inside out. He reads it. He doesn't sit and hesitate. And he makes the biggest play of this game yet.
Beautiful day to take a selfie on a beautiful campus here at Nebraska. Although what was just made was a beautiful tackle by Nate Landman to get Colorado the turnover on downs. They've got great field position, down by 1. And here's Laviska Shenault turning the corner. And it takes 4 Huskers to bring down the man that Mike McIntyre told us reminds him of Julio Jones.
Nate Landman with the big rugby-style tackle going low there. It's something he actually learned from his dad, who was a professional rugby player in Zimbabwe, where Landman was born, and he lived in Zimbabwe until he was 3.5 years old and came to the States. So that means he wasn't a U.S. citizen until a year ago. He said, "I'm proud of the fact I was born in Zimbabwe. I've always felt like an American, though, and receiving my citizenship was a very proud and humbling moment." Guys.
Yeah, he is such a difference, Allison. There's just no question about it. They had to get him on the field last year. Last year he got on late as the season went along. And this year they said, you know what, leading tackler, I'm sorry, Drew Lewis, you're going to have to move to the outside. We have got to get the kid they've nicknamed the Hammer. We've got to get him on the field, and you see why. Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week a week ago, and that's good to see Trayvon coming off the field. Trayvon McMillan was out front of that fly sweep. It's a bit dinged, but he runs off in his own power. But, man, I think all of this, it just encapsulates the physical nature of this game today. While they're spread teams, they're tempo teams, both sides immensely physical.
Kyle Evans. A half-yard shy of the first down. Another tackle for Khalil Davis. So Thunder on the sideline. That puts lightning back on the field. And Kyle Evans. 3rd down. And they go back to him. And he gets stood up and driven back short of the first down. Will Mike McIntyre take the same chance that Scott Frost just took?
That was a really nice play from Dedrick Young. We've not called his name an awful lot today. A kid that's searching for 4 consecutive years of 60-plus tackles. No one's done it wearing that helmet before. He scraped. Chris Bounds, the polling tight end, can't see him. And he sets up a huge 4th down call.
Now Brett Ton's coming off the field. So your starting left guard and your starting left tackle are both hurt. And are both now replaced as Jacob Moretti, another redshirt freshman, goes in.
Is number 2 on the field? Because if he's on the field, he's been the guy that's been awfully big in these moments.
He's on the field at the bottom of the screen. 4th down and a half yard. Colorado will go for it. They run the option. Evans, no chance. And Nebraska answers right back with a stop of their own at midfield. Dedrick Young ran out Evans at the 50. A failed fourth down attempt for Colorado, and LaVisca Chenault not involved.
Who's the best player on the field? He's right here. How much field does he have to work with? All of it. All of it. That's your opportunity. I know why you called it, because you want to option off one guy. But instead, too much team speed for Nebraska as they get into that short side of the field. And Chenault saying, man, give me any opportunity to make a play. And I had the whole field to work with.
An interception thrown by Martinez. It's picked off by guess who? Nate Landman. And just like that, Colorado gets it right back. All the way down to the 32-yard line.
All right, I'm exhausted, man. These back and forth. Nobody wants to punt. This is remarkable stuff and probably shouldn't be surprising with freshmen. Look at Landman's eyes. He totally baits them. The true sophomore versus the true freshman. He covers two guys. Landman's inside out on that play, and he, I know, is thinking, Adrian, I'm gonna bait you right into this throw. I'm gonna act like I'm covering that little hitch route out over the ball. And Scott Frost, I am so athletic, I'm going to get underneath that, and I'm going to make a game-changing play for Colorado.
The first two possessions of the game were turnovers by Nebraska that resulted in Colorado touchdowns. That's their third giveaway. Now what happens? Here's McMillan. 3 yards. Already inside field goal range, although Stefano missed his last kick.
Number 2's got to touch the ball here, right? Game on the line, deciding drives, he's got to find a way to get the ball. He's at the bottom of your screen.
McMillan down to the 26. 4 yards shy of a first down.
3-yard gain on the play.
Montez, incomplete. So now it will be a field goal attempt, you would think, to try and take the lead. And here comes the field goal group.
That's a rare miss there in this game for Mr. Montez. That was a really well-conceived play. Everything you want. Unfortunately, fundamentals fall away, as does the ball into the turf and putting more pressure on Mr. Stefano.
From 43, after missing from 37 on his last attempt, to give Colorado the lead back. Looking left, misses it again. Wow. Bob Shoes and Brock Ewert, Allison Williams watching Steven Montez, and Colorado. Brock missed opportunity after opportunity.
Yeah, just big play after big play. This was the first miss from Stefano. Jess Hooks pass that left upright. This is a fourth down call, an option where Dedrick was just simply too fast into the boundary. And once again, the oldest player in college football, 2 for 2 on the first. This back-to-back kicks.
Zigbo. Now it's back to the senior on the ground, 7 yards on first down. And I know these teams practice nothing but tempo, or so it seems. You don't want tempo here if you're Nebraska. You want to force Colorado to use those timeouts and take every second off the play clock that you can. And on 2nd down and 3, they were just about set to snap the ball with 20 on the play clock. And flags fly.
And that's going to go against Colorado. Oh, excuse me, it goes against Nebraska. This under there, flinching the football.
Number 32 of the defense, calling cadence. That's a delay of game. 5-yard penalty. That results
see if we can hear this.
That umpire knew.
I'm not sure if he can pick up Javier Edwards, or was it Rick Gamboa?
Right next to that umpire, sitting right next to him, and you can't fake those guys out.
Zigbo. 5 yards. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN+. So start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. What is the rush for Nebraska? And now flags again, and both teams pointing at one another.
Number 20, the defense entered the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. That's an automatic first down.
That was Drew Lewis there, getting into the neutral zone and affecting Austin Allen. Jack Stoll, the two tight ends who both flinch. That's a couple critical penalties against Colorado.
Let's see how long they wait to snap it here. They'll snap it with 10 on the play clock. Flags thrown once again. And this one will go against Nebraska.
Holding offense number 62. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the center there, the redshirt senior. Conrad says, what did I do? Well, what you did is reached out with your right hand.
And Adrian Martinez is hurt. Let's see if we can pick up. Now Adrian Martinez was shaken up.
Yeah, and here's going to be the hold is right in front of you with the center. He just reaches out there with his right paw. And Adrian's right leg looks like it's caught underneath him here. He's taken some hits today. If there was any curiosity of how that shoulder was going to handle itself after 18 months of no contact, shoulder looks fine. This is a sign that no Nebraska fan wants to see, with only a backup walk-on Andrew Bunch on the roster.
Well, Tristan Gebbia was, based on our estimation at ESPN, the number 6 pro-style quarterback in the country. And it was Gebbia and Martinez that were in a quarterback battle all the way through camp. Martinez won the battle.
And the next day?
On the 27th of August, right before the season began, Gebbia said, I want out. I want to be released from my scholarship. I'm not staying here as the backup. And he headed to Oregon State. So that leaves Nebraska with a walk-on quarterback as their only depth, as Adrian Martinez can't put any weight for the most part on that right leg. Well, now Brock, it's 1st and 20 after the timeout and after the penalty. 3.5 minutes to go, and you're sending Andrew Bunch out there. I would have to think to simply hand the ball off 3 times and put this game on your defense potential. So now I will be totally stunned if Nebraska doesn't take the play clock down as far as they can on every single snap. And they snapped it with 12 on the play clock. Zigbo up the middle for 3 yards. You could almost take 2 full minutes off the clock plus if you just let the play clock wind all the way down at 40 seconds. But they're lined up, just about set to go with 23 on the play clock. And they snap it with 18. Quarterback draw. And it's Bunch. Now it's 3rd down and long.
And now a timeout for Colorado.
Dabo Swinney and number 2 Clemson with a tough non-conference road test against an old friend, Jimbo Fisher in Texas A&M. 7 Eastern, 6 Central, live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. That's later on tonight.
Bob, I was listening to Sean McDonough, Tom Blackledge on the call a week ago, Miami LSU, and Sean was reiterating the same thing to Tom. Right, just the clock management of what are we doing here? You know, why would you just waste the opportunity to take this game and shorten this game and put even more pressure on Mike McIntyre? And the only thing that I have said to you consistently, I think over 4 years, as we've had this conversation seemingly again and again and again, is this is just what they are. This is who we are. This is what we do. That is what I think of Coach McIntyre. That is what Scott Frost is going to say, is we are a tempo rhythm team. That's what we do. And that's the line that they walk. I'm with you logically, analytically. Everything says shorten the game. But we have seen this too many times for too many years with tempo teams just say, nope, this is who we are.
Well, who they are just left a lot of extra time on the clock for Colorado as we check in with Cassidy.
Thanks, Bob. How about Memphis and Navy? Zach Abey, a 3-yard touchdown run gives Navy their first lead of the game, and that's how this one would end. Memphis falls to the midshipmen, 22-21, the final. Bob, Brock, Allison, back to you.
Big win for Navy, and a big 3rd down and 16. And Bunch is going to throw the football up the sideline, losing the football on his way out of bounds, and they will call it an incompletion to J.D. Spielman. Oh, Spielman, it looked like, had it right in his arms and could have had a first down and lost it.
That could not have been thrown any better. I think he is bobbling it the entire way there. That is an incomplete pass. And kudos to you, Andrew Bunch, a sophomore walk-on coming into the biggest moment of the game and throwing an absolute seed. And unfortunately, Spielman on the other end just unable to reel in.
So 2.5 plus to go for Colorado, and they still have 2 timeouts. So this will be on the Nebraska defense to try and hold on to a 1-point lead. Lightborn with a wobbly kick. On the dead run, Ronnie Blackman to the 24-yard line.
Last couple occasions, we saw Morgan on a near touchdown reception. I think feels some footsteps here. And Spielman once runs a beautiful route, well-timed with the rollout. Just unable to really gather possession there of the football. Never really had it. A play that Nebraska needed to make to continue to churn this clock. Cornhuskers unable to do so.
It was 28-20. When Colorado scored last, late 3rd quarter. They opted not to go for 2. And they still trail by 1. Montez to Chenault. To the 38-yard line.
That's a 220-pound split end, that's all. That's about 2 inches shorter than Julio Jones, but runs 4.4. And Mr. Montez, if I am you in these final minutes, I'm not leaving Lincoln. I'm not getting on this bus in this plane without number 2 having a say in it here in the final couple minutes.
Remember, James Stefano, the place kicker for Colorado, has missed his last 2. Will he get one more chance? Quick out, caught by Jay McIntyre.
Montez pass complete to number 14, Jay McIntyre.
And the oldest player in college football trying to stay loose.
How many times have you said that? You like that note. I get it, he's old.
For those just joining us. 2nd down and 6. Four-man rush. Montez incomplete. Well wide of McIntyre. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
That same throw, it was a 3rd and 6 earlier. They were in a really good concept. And he has McIntyre open in the flat. That time open on the out. You just have to trust your fundamentals there. Throw it downhill. Put it on your receiver.
on the slant. They've got the first down and more. Tony Brown.
What a really cool play right there. You motion to the other side. All the attention is to McIntyre and to Chenault, and you run a little slant the other way. Well done. Well executed by the Buffs.
Montez, one-on-one in the open field, throws it away. Good job by Carlos Davis.
Complete, rushed by number 96, Carlos Davis. Second down and 10.
You know he wants one more opportunity. Well, maybe he wants a touchdown. Maybe that's what he wants. But as a competitor, you know that the 31-year-old from Australia wants one more shot to get this right after back-to-back misses.
Stefano, a Lou Groza semifinalist last season. His career long, 53.
And a man.
Montez goes down. Sacked by Ben Stille. Seventh Nebraska sack. And now it's third down and a mile.
It's coming right at you, right over the center, right here. I talked about hands an awful lot today. Stille, 3.5 sacks, paced Nebraska last year. Yeah, you heard me right. 3.5 sacks, was the leading sacker a season ago. 7 today. After just 14 last season as a team.
Now, if you are Colorado, you do not have to pick up the first down to get into field goal range. If you believe your kicker has the leg to make from 53, you only have to get to about the 35-yard line. The 31-yard line is where you have to go for a first down. So are these next two plays for the Buffs designed just to get him inside where he can make a 52, 53-yarder? Or are you thinking fresh set of downs?
Yeah, it's 3rd and 19, so you got to get some damage done right now. And you better protect with 7 sacks. You better protect first, because anything else isn't getting done without protection.
False start. Offense number 14. 5-yard penalty. Remains no down.
And this place is rocking, and it's played as big a role as anything today, and it's just the left guard, and it's a flinch. You can see his eyes are out there at that blitzer. It's also the receiver, McIntyre. Both of those guys just flinch, trying to get a grasp on this pressure.
High throw up the seam, incomplete, laying out. Jay McIntyre ahead in the secondary. That's going to give a free first down to Colorado. Did Antonio Reed just make the mistake of the game?
Personal foul, defense number 24. Unnecessary hit against the receiver. That 15-yard penalty includes an automatic first down.
Now they called the penalty on 24. It was Antonio Reed, 25, that goes after a defenseless receiver and gives a free first down to Colorado. Now they're still not quite in field goal range, but it's a fresh set of downs.
The previous play is under further review.
The only thing Antonio had to do right there was play the ball. You know, senior out of Memphis, Tennessee, he's played a bunch of ball, 35 games, 5 starts. And from the booth, they are initiating a targeting call here. And the only thing Antonio had to do, and this is happening so fast, it's easy for us to see step by step in this moment, but all he has to do is play the ball. McIntyre's not even going for it. There's no chance. He knows that he's got no chance to run through Reed and get that ball.
Now, I don't think it's targeting. I think Antonio Reed will stay in the game. But the 15-yard penalty has already been called and assessed.
Yep.
So that 15 yards is going to stick whether Antonio Reed gets kicked out or not. That puts the ball at the 40-yard line. And on that last snap, If Colorado could have gotten the ball just inside the 40-yard line, you figure that might have put them in a position where they could try a miles-long field goal. Well, now they are in a whole different circumstance with a first down at the +4.
So defenseless player, there's no question.
Replay at the top of the game to look for the aspect of targeting. There is no targeting. The unnecessary roughness stands. It's first down.
Yeah, and I think that's right. He's a defenseless player, and you did not think because of the replays there was forcible contact to the head or neck area. And I would agree with you. It was really to the upper sternum, and Scott Frost is saying, then why the unsportsmanlike? Well, the unsportsmanlike because he went after a totally defenseless player, which is something they're trying to take out of this game.
It can be unnecessary roughness without necessarily having to have targeting on top.
And what a massive penalty.
Blitz from Nebraska. Montez takes a shot. Drops it in to Chenault. Touchdown. Unbelievable. From 40 yards out.
Best player on the field. Your best players have got to make the biggest plays at the biggest moments, and that's exactly what they did. I highlighted a few different times when he didn't go his way in this fourth quarter. That is that inside fade. That's all the room, even with the safety over the top, so perfectly thrown to Montez. And the biggest difference maker here in 60 minutes of action shows it yet again. That's now 177 yards receiving on 10 catches after 11 and over 200 1 week ago in Denver.
And now up by 5, a no-brainer to go for 2. Montez with a rollout. And that's short of the goal line. McIntyre was hit and driven back by Deontay Williams. And he's shaken up. So Nebraska now with 2 timeouts. They still have 1:06, but what's the status of their quarterback?
Well, the status of that guy is the most valuable player, and he's a little bit banged up. But what a day once again. Laviska Shenault. Absolute stud, man. There's very few like this in college football that can play everything. Wildcat quarterback, run it in on a touchdown. Seam route, got it, gotcha. It really doesn't matter what has been asked of him, he has delivered.
And I'd like Martinez can get back in the game.
No, guys, he has ice on his right knee. He was evaluated in the injury tent, did walk out on his own power, but quickly took a seat, and they have that right knee iced up. So it's going to be up to Andrew Bunch to try and get this win.
Andrew Bunch, the backup quarterback, because Tristan Gebbia, who lost the battle to Martinez in fall camp. When he lost the battle, he transferred out, left, released from his scholarship. So now Bunch, a walk-on sophomore whose only offer out of high school was from Eastern Michigan, will get one last chance with the ball to try and pull off a win for Nebraska.
And that conversation with Mr. Frost was, what are you comfortable with? What do you like? What are you comfortable with? What do you want me to call here in the final 60 seconds?
A squid kick from Colorado. And that gives pretty good field position to Nebraska at their own 36-yard line as the tight end Jack Stoll ran it forward.
And on a day of so many stories, what a story. A sophomore, as you just mentioned, he won a state title. I mean, this kid has been a winner. Shenault the stud on his side. But this is Andrew Bunch, a state title winner, a 3-year starter, a walk-on that's had to earn everything, that watched someone else give up on this program to provide this opportunity. And with 63 seconds to go, 91,000 eyeballs are looking right at him.
Four-man rush. Bunch on first down with a strike. He starts the drive to Mike Williams. And Mike Williams fights his way to stop the clock, at least for the moment, to the 50-yard line, a gain of 14. Andrew Bunch threw 79 passing touchdowns during his high school career. Play action, under pressure. Throws it away. Was he outside the pocket?
Pocket, there is no grounding.
That's a big call.
That is an enormous heads-up play, man. You take a sack right there, you're going to have to burn a timeout and look at all the lost yardage. He knows that the one thing he can't do is take a sack here. He flushes, and once again, that's like Montez. We saw that earlier. They are going to give the benefit of the doubt to the quarterback to protect himself. I think he was in that gray area, which we've seen consistently called that way today.
Bunch across his body underneath to Jack Stoll. And you wonder if a timeout will be used now by Nebraska. And it looks like they will call one and have one remaining with 32 seconds to go. Well, Colorado takes the lead against all odds. And the biggest play that led to the touchdown was that penalty on Antonio Reed, which would have set up 4th down and a mile.
And you just knew Darren Chiaverini was also not going to leave here without Chenault playing a factor in it. And Steven Montez doesn't make those plays last year. He just doesn't have the poise, I don't think, to do it. And the maturity he does this season. And because of it, well, he's put Scott Frost in a bit of a bind. And one of the real challenges here is Bunch is just not a mover. Unlike Martinez, that we have seen create so well with his legs today, the protection's going to have to be right. The routes are going to have to be right down the field. And Stanley Morgan, J.D. Spielman, two guys who've had opportunities today, they've got to find a way to deliver for their walk-on quarterback.
Bunch well protected. High throw to Tyjon Lindsey, all the way down to the 22-yard line. They still have a timeout. We'll check that Morgan. Stanley Morgan hauls it in, and they will give him progress to the 21.
What a big-time throw, man. What guts from the walk-on.
The false start on Nebraska will cost Scott Frost a timeout.
False start, number 76 of the offense. This foul is under 1 minute, which carries a 10-second runoff. Nebraska chooses their 3rd and final timeout in lieu of the runoff.
Yeah, because that play was inbounds, that clock was going to run. You false start right there under a minute, 10-second runoff, or you've got a timeout in your pocket, which Nebraska does. You have to use it. But now you've got no margin.
Now you have to look to the end zone.
Yep.
What a crucial penalty.
Now you look at that call sheet. And if I said Chenault's got to leave this building, getting his opportunity, so does Morgan. And a beautiful job by Bunch right there to buy time, keep his eyes down the field, and just throw another beautiful pass high and away for Morgan to go up and get it. This has to be Morgan or Spielman. Or they have to play central roles in such deception to free other people up. But they're your best players, and you want to go down. If you go down, you want to go down swinging, giving those guys an opportunity.
Stanley Morgan, widest to the top of your screen, wide left. Andrew Bunch, swing pass in the right flat. Greg Bell's got to get out of bounds. And that did nothing for Nebraska. He gained about a half yard or a handful of yards, got back to the original line of scrimmage. But now it's down to 13 seconds to go. 2nd down from just outside the 20.
20 seconds, you can catch this in the middle of the field beyond the marker and absolutely still get up and spike it. And with 13 to go, that is right on the verge.
Heaving into the end zone is Bunch. Out of bounds. And over the wall goes Stanley Morgan.
He had him. And he had him, and that is such a long, difficult throw right there. A corner route. He beats Abrams to the point, but if you don't throw that on time, you run out of real estate right into that tight corner. And now with just 7 seconds to go, this ball's got to go to the end zone.
Very well might be the last play. Down the sideline, incomplete still with 3 seconds to go, though. So it did not get to the end zone. It did get out of bounds. Now we are down to the final play, barring a defensive penalty with 3 seconds remaining.
No fear of failure. It is the motto within this program. Number 8, where are you?
And final timeout, Colorado.
So Mike McIntyre wants to make absolutely sure there are no coverage busts, no confusion, and his players understand their responsibilities on the final play of the game.
And likewise on this side, and you were talking to those 5 big guys up front who've played a whale of a game at times. Protected very well. They've run the ball successfully over 300 yards. 129 rushing. The true freshman's going to have to watch with an ice pack on his knee. And to me, this is Scott Frost just reminding Andrew Bunch, the walk-on sophomore quarterback, that you can do this. And you can see it on the other side as well. Everybody making sure their assignments are sound, and Scott Frost putting the very best play that he believes Andrew Bunch with confidence can go out there and deliver.
It has to get to the end zone for the walk-on quarterback, Andrew Bunch. Again to the top of your screen, wide left, is Stanley Morgan. Colorado blitzes. Bunch heaves one to the end zone. Out of bounds and incomplete. Colorado. An incredible come-from-behind win in the 4th quarter here in Lincoln. And you cannot overstate how important this win is for that man right there. Since joining the Pac-12 in 7 years, 6 last-place finishes for Colorado. 5 of those under Mike McIntyre. 2 years ago, they won the division. And you wonder, was that a fluke 2 years ago? Or was that steps towards rebuilding a program? Many think this is the year that's going to tell that story, Brock. And Scott Frost walks off the field on the short end in his debut at Nebraska.
What an incredible call. DJ Elliott, I've hardly said his name, the D coordinator there for Colorado. Mike McIntyre as well. They blitz, they get home, they force the incompletion, and because of it, they go home winners.
Let's go down to Allison.
An emotional embrace for Coach McIntyre. What's going through your mind just now?
How great this is for these kids. The staff did a phenomenal, and we just hung in there. You know, our kicker's an awesome kicker, and he missed a couple. We are a mentally tough football team. That's what I told him before the game. You know, Nebraska had a disadvantage. They didn't have a game before us. We didn't have any film on them. Number 2's a heck of a player. I sure hope he's okay. And I'd just like to thank our team, our fans, and wow. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
I saw the big hug with your son. What makes this one mean so much?
Well, the way he played. I got a dream come true today. I got to beat Nebraska, and I got to watch my son make some plays. Pretty special. Pretty special.
A special player in LaVisca Chenault as well.
Yeah.
What did you call up on that game-winning touchdown?
If LaVisca got pressed, we said go at it. You know, go at it. So they pressed him. He made a play. Great throw. Just unbelievable win for our program. And a special day. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Mike.
I appreciate it.
A coach on the hot seat. His son's on the team. He scores touchdowns. They find a way to win it. An old rivalry game in the 4th quarter. I mean, that's college football.
I don't know.
Right there.
Yeah, if you don't love every second of that, man, you don't love college football. And the last play here, Colorado, who took risks throughout, who didn't punt, who went for it, they go for it again. They bring an extra, they overload the weak side there of that protection. They were not going to let the walk-on get comfortable. They set the tempo, they bring the blitz, and the ball falls aimlessly out of bounds with tears in his eyes right there. I mean, that's... I can't remember a game. Scott Frost watches his first game in this building a loss. I don't know if I can remember a game lately, Bob, with so many stories, so many players with so much unique backgrounds and grit and journeys and stories, and so much meaning for both of these programs. What a well of a game.
Congratulations to Colorado, and congratulations to Mike McIntyre. Tears in his eyes as he celebrates the old Big 8 rivalry win over Nebraska. 33-28 is your final. For Allison Williams and Brock Ewart, I'm Bob Wischusen. After the break, we go back to the studio.
Good evening, Thor. Good evening, Husker Nation. A very, very disappointing way to start the Scott Frost era, and that is an understatement. It really was a roller coaster of emotions as the Huskers spotted Colorado a 14-0 lead, giving them 2 turnovers in the first half, only to fight their way back, take their first lead of the game, held on to the lead most of the game, only to see it disappear in the fourth quarter with a 3rd turnover and then some self-inflicted mistakes. Let's bring in our big Red Zone insider, Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. And Sean, your initial reactions to what happened today here at Memorial Stadium?
Well, I think the big picture view of Nebraska football looked a lot better today. I don't think anybody watching the game could disagree. I mean, Nebraska looked aggressive on defense. They played with an edge. They ran the ball for more yards than we've seen them run in a long time. Adrian Martinez showed promise. They just didn't come out on top, and as Scott Frost said, they beat themselves today.
Speaking of Scott Frost, he is at the podium right now. Let's join him live at Memorial Stadium.
Fourth quarter, to just think we could run the clock out with their timeout. So we're going to stay aggressive all the time and go for the score. We should have thrown to the right, and we threw to the left. And those are things Adrian, he's the type of kid, he won't make the same mistake twice.
The 2 4th and 1, Scott, just from what you can see from the sideline, is that just execution? What did you see on those 2?
We didn't try to get too cute on those 4th down and 1s because we ran for, I don't know what we ran for, but we were winning the battle up front. I thought we won the battle up front on both sides of the ball. We just got to do it in situations like that.
After your team got down by 14, what was it about the defense early? Were they just tight? Were they kind of trying to find their way? What was going on?
I think their team did a good job executing on that first drive. They hit us with a lot of stuff or double reverse passes or whatever that thing was. And, you can practice against yourselves a lot, but until you see the speed of somebody else and how they're doing it, sometimes it takes us serious. But we're going to address whatever it was to make both sides of the ball not come out and click early. We'll address. I would never make an excuse, but having a game last week certainly probably would have helped the way we came out and played. It is what it is. Those are cards dealt to us. We can't turn the ball over on our first 2 possessions. We were going in to score on the first and turned it over to them, and it's 7-0 them instead of us having a lead. And then defense has got to step up. You spot any decent team 14 points, it's hard to come back. I was really pleased with how our kids responded to that situation and didn't blink.
6 sacks, I think, was the final total. 6 sacks. Did you see that coming? Did you see that in preseason camp?
Be honest with you, I didn't know what I was going to see today. I knew the team had prepared really well. I knew they knew the game plan. I knew they were going to play hard. But I didn't know what it would look like because I haven't been on the field with these guys before. Short of winning the game, I don't know, and staying healthy, I don't know if I could have been much more pleased with the way we moved the ball, with the way some of our players performed, with the way our freshman quarterback performed, and the way the black shirts looked, minus a couple series and some bad mistakes.
Scott, you haven't lost a football game in about 21 months. That was your first time coaching a game on this field. Obviously a big day for you. Describe your emotions walking off.
Well, it's all wiped out when you lose. I don't care. I'm a competitor like all these guys in the locker room, and for three quarters I was having about as much fun coaching as I've ever had in my life, doing it back home. But we just got to we got to learn lessons to be able to win games like that and not beat ourselves. When you're trying to become a good team, you don't find ways to lose games, especially close ones. You find ways to win them.
Is that applicable to the special teams? There was some penalties there. I don't know what your assessment was of that phase.
I'm not going to talk about penalties. I'll talk about our mistakes, and we'll address them. I think we made some undisciplined plays, and that's what average teams do.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right, that is head coach Scott Frost, who Huskers dropping their opener 33-28 to Colorado. What you didn't hear, he addressed Adrian Martinez's injury right before we picked him up live. He said that Martinez's injury, the news around it is semi-encouraging. He left the game with 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter with a knee injury. We, of course, will bring you updates when we have them available. So much more to come here from Memorial Stadium. We'll continue to give you the post-game story as the Huskers drop their opener to the Colorado Buffaloes 33-28. Stay with us. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, Tom Osborne Field. I'm Andy Kennedy reporting live, and after the Huskers losing to the Colorado Buffaloes 33-28, the first game of the Scott Frost era. Let's bring in Big Red Zone insider Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. I want to talk to you a little bit about that crazy fourth quarter. So much to talk about. We had a missed field goal by Colorado. Adrian Martinez gets hurt, and then Andrew Bunch comes in. J.D. Spielman drops a pass. Colorado gets the ball back, and then they have a goofy penalty that extended their drive. Really a key call on Antonio Reed. What did you see?
Yeah, that fourth quarter was a game within in itself. I mean, all the drama you just mentioned played out there, but the Antonio Reed play was highly controversial. 3rd and 24. It looked like he pulled back. They definitely took off the targeting call in that situation, and, you know, it's a tough situation for a referee to make a call like that, to call the receiver defenseless when you know, he's going over the middle to try to catch the ball, and the safety's trying to make the play on the ball, and the ball was high, and, you know, it was just one of those tough calls that you hate to see an official decide a game, but ultimately a call like that obviously decided the game today.
Yeah, and that led to the Laviska Shenault touchdown, that 40-yarder by Steven Montez. I mean, give them credit. They made a lot of plays, but to extend drives, and I think Scott Frost touched about it in his post-game comments, when you're trying to become a great team, you can't make mistakes to kill yourself. And that was really a microcosm of the whole afternoon, right?
And I think not having that first game, some of those things that may have happened last week happened today. And you're playing a seasoned Power 5 opponent that, you know, you look at Colorado's schedule, they're probably going to get off to a 4-0, 5-0 start. They're going to, you know, have an opportunity here to have a good season. So this was not a team that you can make those mistakes. And Nebraska still made them and was able to overcome them a lot and almost win this game.
Turnovers in the first half were so key.
Yeah, Nebraska's driving down, opening drive, Martinez, then Bell puts it on the ground in that situation.